You know, that's a very good call too. So, and look, it's good for him that he's gets 2 games without the pressure of being the coach, just to assess the North Melbourne list. But let's talk about the Saints. I'm really keen to see the way they bounce back. Contested football's been talked about all week, and you have a look at the midfield there. It starts in there. Look for no short steps from the Saints players today.
Josh Gibson starting on the ball. He did a good job on Embley last week. He'll go to Goddard, I'm convinced of that. There's Grimer. Rowan Smith got that one right. And Lockie Hansen, who played forward last week, going to Nick Rewalt. And I reckon the other one you'll find in the midfield there will be Del Santo. Will have Greenwood, who's done some run with rolls as well.
And we've got Clinton Jones back into the team. He's on Brent Harvey just in front of us on the wing there. He's all over the North Melbourne skipper, Clinton Jones.
Umpires today, Matt Stevick, Stephen Grun and Todd Keating. And we're underway in bright sunshine. Gardner in the ruck against McIntosh. And immediately the clearance to Josh Gibson. Fisher, body on the line, good commitment there, but Campbell pounces, runs to 30, sizes them up, and Edwards, did he juggle that across? He juggled that across. It could have been the perfect start, and it's the worst start possible for both.
Well, it was great play from Matt Campbell. He saw Edwards out the corner of his eye and thought, I better put the ball to the top of the square. You couldn't have blamed him going for goal, but unfortunately there for North, fumble it over the line.
Jones, Montagna, Gilbert, and now Revolt on the move. Harvey, gee, was he blinded in the sun? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt there because it looked horrible. And the short pass from Schneider cut off and by Scott McMahon in game 50.
And Brent Harvey looked around at Lockie Hansen, so there's no talk there either. So it was pretty hard on Brent Harvey there. Rowan Smith will be able to tell us whether the sun was in his eyes, Smithy.
Petrie, Rawlings, Watt
forward.
And Edwards a chance here as he flies. Good fist though from Blake. And the ball out of play.
But we do know that the sun does play a factor here at Etihad Stadium, especially probably in the first quarter. Maybe after half-time it doesn't take too much of an influence.
Well, he had to go for that mark. It was going to be a behind. And there's Harvey blinded by the sun.
Well, North know they need a good start here, and they've started off exactly the way you'd want. Nice hard attack at the footy. Interesting, the defence. Shannon Watt's about 6'4". He's playing on Adam Snyder. You got Thompson playing on another small as well, who's been really good for. McMahon's taken Milne. So there's an interesting lot of matchups going on out there for North Melbourne.
So Graham's kick, Garlop got a kick away at goal, missed anyway. Jason Graham made an example of him, Ross Lyon, when they dropped him earlier this season for missing a rehab session. They've been strict with their discipline, the Saints, and it's paid dividends. And a couple of players would love to be in this lineup right now. Luke Ball and Max Hudson, just 2 of those. Revolt called to play on.
The long target's Cozzy, and Farron Ray might be able to...
He's blinded by the sun as well. Graham takes possession, but has been taken by Thompson. And we get a ball up. So that's confirmation that the sun is posing a problem.
Well, it is, and maybe they're better off playing down through the shade out wide, but you'd have to go wide there. We just saw the shade there near the boundary line.
Well, I think the sun is blinding when it comes out of that shady area and all of a sudden into your vision. Graham tries to thump it along. Rawlings took possession, held his ground, gave to Swallow, gets it back. Good movement, this bouncing ball. Adams. Garlett, there's that fumble again. You can't afford to do it. Just his 4th game, Cruz Garlett.
It's a nice day in Melbourne, but the other option, Danny, might be to shut the roof.
Oh, we don't want to see that today, though, do we?
It's a beautiful day, you're right.
We haven't seen sun in Melbourne for
just don't want to see
7 or 8 weeks.
Just don't want to see 10 blokes getting hit in the head by the ball.
Swallow, Adams, Greenwood had it thumped away by Baker, taken out by Greenwood, no free. Del Santo, not necessarily a handball either. Has, you're right, Liam, been a good start.
Well, they won't want in defence when the ball's in North Melbourne's forward line. They certainly won't like their release players of Goddard and Del Santo to get the ball with their back to goal, so they can sort of set up some attack from defence. They'll try and make it a real scrap here, North.
Armitage and Anthony. Montagna, Armitage, stolen back by Harvey, then forced the lay tackle. That was a wing tackle, perfect wing tackle on Ray. No prior opportunity.
Well, positive signs here for North early. Liam Anthony going hard at the ball, and you see Brent Harvey was going to go hard at the ball, and there was a physical tackle on Farron Ray. So terrific start for North Melbourne.
Had his own arm broken by one of those tackles earlier this season. Ray
This is what they don't want, North. The rebound here from St Kilda. Graham's got forward. This could be trouble.
And just gets the kick away. Milne. Sun didn't bother him.
Got Cozzy in space.
Wobbly ball, tough one to grab. First time he's had a chance at it. Grimer shrugs a tackle, just gets a handball away. Rawlings, Thompson, Watt, and now McIntosh made the ground.
It's Swallow running a support for him short.
And he can go here. Kick just sat on him a little, forced him to hold up.
This is what St Kilda do well. As soon as you have to go back over the man on the mark, St Kilda have had a win.
Well, we saw it last week. The Bombers, as soon as the mark a free kick, they played on instantly.
Graham won the ball, handball to Milne in a 1-on-2. McMahon, Shannon Watt, Smith. Josh Smith. Great Wayne Carey, who wore that 18 so well, here today to have a look. Short pass is good to Aaron Edwards.
So Petrie free here.
Oh, he did well.
And he dropped it.
Until then.
Fisher. Jones. Baker. Just working in tandem there, waxing possessions, and Blake.
Well, 2 fumbled marks has basically cost North Melbourne 2 goals. We saw Edwards early fumble the ball over the line, and then Petrie fumbled that mark 30 metres out, directly in front.
Well, it kills you, unfortunately. Against St Kilda, you've got to take every opportunity. They're such a good team. And Drew Petrie done well to get the space. And his hands have been so good in recent weeks.
Look, they have, and they've started well. They've had 4 inside 50s to St Kilda's 2. And they should have at least 2 goals on the board.
Hanson did well there, floating between Revolt and Gardner. Thompson bounced, sat for him nicely. Swallow.
Oh, Edwards is forward again on his own with no one within 40.
Yeah, well, Zach Dawson's coming off the ground now in front of you, Rowan Smith. I think there's no doubt there's been a change on the bench here. We see Raph Clark. He's the defender that should be on him there, Smithy.
Yeah, well, Zach Dawson basically just ran off the ground. He's just gone straight onto the phone. Now, I'm not too sure if he's done anything wrong or not, but his probably major thing was he come off at the wrong time, Spud, and just left his man.
I think he's probably getting that message as we speak.
Only had the 3 kicks last week. Zach Dawson played 97% of the game time. 3 kicks and preferred ahead of Max Hudson. And that, for Aaron Edwards, is a perfect start.
Well, they definitely needed that start, North Melbourne. They've started the game really well. They've had 5 inside 50s to 2. And I'm not sure what happened on the bench there. We see Gardner coming off the king. Well, that's just a change in the ruck. But Zach Dawson definitely coming off the ground. And you called it, Pickers. Edwards had that much space. He thought, this is my day today. He was on his own early, fumbled the mark, and now he's kicked truly. So, really good start for Edwards.
Certainly is. He's an important player who's a bit maligned because of some of the off-field stuff more than anything else. I think he's a talented player, and he's a sort of a hard matchup as a forward.
Well, he's got Blake on him at the moment. Now, I'd be low. I would want to put Edwards in the goal square on Blake. Make Blake play full-back, because at the moment Dawson's on the bench. Blake normally plays back pocket, half-back flank.
King against McIntosh, lower, tried to break free after the palm down. Couldn't.
Oh, a bit of a...
It was, and Goddard looking at the umpire for a free there. Could have got one high.
I don't mind the Gibson matchup on Goddard because we know he's dangerous off half-back. He can go forward and be dangerous. Gibson's been playing that run with roll. He's a very good runner, apparently. I've done some bit of homework during the week on the North runners as to why they've been playing Ferrito and Gibson. If you have a look at this one here, a little bit of a slap in the face. Just get out of the way. Slapped each other.
So they've got big motors, those 2 boys?
Well, Gibson in particular has got a big motor, and that's why they've thrown him in there. Some of their midfielders, I think, not quite sure they tested as well as they should have around the zoo or the Princess Park or whatever it is pre-season.
Well, Huey got a good possession there. Gibson for Liam. Short pass to Edwards.
I like this matchup. Edwards on Blake. That's a win for North Melbourne. If they can isolate Edwards and get enough of the ball, that could be a really good matchup for North Melbourne.
Gee, the Saints are guarding that sort of 40-metre area well.
Kazetsky from the side beautifully. McWalter.
Well, they had to go back because he looked forward, McWalter. There was no St Kilda player forward. They've got Cozzy pushing hard forward now.
Jones back to McWalter. Heads wide. Schneider dropped it. Tackled by Obbs.
He's dragged it in.
And Obbs not awarded with the free.
We shouldn't really be that surprised about the start of North Melbourne. If we remember the last time they played earlier in the year, I think it was 5 goals to 1 as we see Cozzy's big mark there. His hands are very sticky at the moment, so they They did start well against the Saints last time as well.
And they're led by 22 points at quarter time. That was round 11. Saints ending up getting up by 46 points. Edwards pursues it. Blake.
Good pressure there from North Melbourne.
Continues to come hard. Raf Clark started on the bench. Graham.
Nothing really on this side of the ground for kick two.
Montagna. Now revolt from 4 deep. Crushed that pack. Knew he couldn't take the mark, but spilled the pack regardless. Dempster rolls it inside 50. Guzicki down there with Milne. Fishing for it. Milne, they're fishing for him now. He's still got it. Didn't have prior opportunity and will get a ball up.
That was very good play there from McMahon. Milne was trying to get goal side, and Scotty McMahon thought, well, if he gets goal side, it's all over for me. So he didn't want to let Milne get through there.
And Smithy, you've noticed something with Lee Montagna?
Yeah, Lee Montagna's pick is starting as a half-forward flank and then going into the midfield. And Scotty Thompson's just electing to sit back inside their defensive 50 at the moment. So Lee Montagna might get a little bit of ball up in the midfield.
Del Santo, not really a handball. Ray tries to break through. Good commitment from both teams at the moment.
Well, the one player off that's getting a bit of the ball, it's off half-back, is Graham. Now, he's a dangerous player. He's kicking efficiencies for 50% at the moment, but he's a dangerous player in the back half. So I'm not sure he's the one they want to let loose, let free. Maybe free up a Baker, North Melbourne, because he hasn't used it quite as well or quite as long.
Jones, tackled quickly by Swallow, but a handball free. McIntosh trying to thump to the wing. Raf Clark gets there first. Graham, not a possession that time. Ball in. Well, they're coming off a loss in Kilda, and they haven't really got all that much to play for today.
They're not kicking the ball that well at the moment. I know it's only early, but North Melbourne are going at 83% kicking effectiveness, and St Kilda are going at 50%.
Swallow shortish. Smith.
It's the boundary line.
And that's due to the pressure like this from North Melbourne at the moment. They're tackling beautifully at North Melbourne. Have a look at the tackle count, is amazing. North Melbourne 16, St Kilda only the 4. That's why St Kilda are not kicking the ball that well. It's just the pressure from North at the moment.
Well, if you're going to come and try and impress a new coach, what better way to do it, and what better stadium this afternoon than to play against the red-hot premiership favourites? And if you've got a mindset of wanting to tackle and wanting to put your head over it, you're going to win some friends.
Farito won that ball. Lower. Swallow. Garlett.
Needed to give quicker.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to take them on and a turnover. Try and mop up his mess. He does. Kicks inside 50. Smith sees it knocked away by Gilbert. Fights on. Keeps his feet. Good gather. Farito threads it through. Anthony. High bomb in hope. Petrie over the top. Held that long enough for some. Not long enough for the man that counted.
I'd like to have another look at that in a minute, Dwayne. I thought he had enough purchase. It was a beautiful fly from Big Drewy.
Gee, their defensive pressure's been outstanding, North Melbourne. Even in the middle, it looked like a turnover, and Swallow smother. Turned it over for North.
Fisher, 2 North Melbourne players didn't know which one was going for it. Obs through legs. McWalter, Blake, well played. Goddard, McWalter, Kazitsky. Half volley.
Too hot to handle.
Armitage. Armitage gets it back to Goddard. And almost gone. Got the kick away. Clark there with Rawlings. Great contest to watch this at the moment. Montagna to his own advantage but pursued. Harvey.
Well, it is because of the pressure North are putting on the Saints at the moment. They've come to play North Melbourne.
Possession 7 for Swallow. Wide. Adams can't trap it. Ball in.
Very, very good start to this game for pure pressure. They would have watched the Bombers last week. Got to look at this bit of play by Swallow. Looked like they were going to take it away. They had a couple of loose players and it's got a hand in there.
Armitage kick smothered. Swallow again dominating. Farito. Tough ball to mark. Petrie can't mark it. After the bounce. Does brilliantly. That's one of the goals of the year.
Too easy.
Oh, that was a brilliant goal. He dropped that early mark, Drew Petrie. Then he had one that we thought he'd got in the forward pocket. Swallow involved again, has been very good. He's had 8 touches already and 3 clearances. Look at the way he keeps it alive. Zach Dawson's right with him. Fisher's gone past the ball. He's a bit of a hold anyway. Just kept it alive. Brilliant play.
Zach Dawson was on him, Pickers, and you called it beautifully, but the last minute, Zach Dawson allowed him to get goal side. Now, we have a look at another look there. He was right on Drewy there, but just the last instance, he basically gave up. He just allowed Petrie to get goal side. You've got to stay in the game. Concentration, that's what makes quality defenders. You've got to concentrate for 120 minutes.
It's a good test. They've had 8 inside 50s against already this game, St Kilda. We know they don't really get the ball in there much, the opposition this year. North Melbourne all of a sudden giving them a few headaches.
Jones, kick half smothered. Gwilt can't. Watt can't.
Well, they're winning all the clearances at the moment. 7-2 also to North Melbourne's favour. They're just winning plenty of the hard ball.
Rawlings could go it to Gibson. Hands to Swallow. And now the long kick. Smith and outmarked by Gilbert.
Oh, it's a super mark. It was aided by Gardner pushing back, knowing that he had the front position covered. He thought, I can go for the high grab. That's good play.
Fontagna's come off the bench.
Rewalt's down here, boys, behind the ball.
He is, and Scott Thompson just lurking in the near vicinity. Graham, tackled by Obst, well, dispossessed.
I think it may have been Obst, Wayne.
Okay, Thompson should get a free for that. Didn't have it, was grabbed.
Rewalt's still in the hands of the trainers.
Rob, can you make 15 minutes?
He's all right.
Centre-half forward? Yeah.
Just a bump off the ball, I think.
Okay. So you think it was Obst? Wasn't Kazitsky, was it?
Definitely wasn't Cozzy.
It's good news. From the ball up.
Cozzy just walked past Obst and give him a little nudge. And Rewalt's into Obst now,
Okay.
in the goal square.
You watch that, we'll watch the ball for the time being.
I'm watching the clearances. At the moment, they're getting smashed and killed, but the clearances.
Campbell long. A little stumble by Edwards allows Gilbert to take it out. But this is deja vu for St Kilda. Round 11. North Melbourne led by 22 at quarter time.
We see Goddard off the ground. Gibson comes off with him. They've got their matchups right at the minute.
Armitage.
Look at the tackles.
Yep, 3 tackled him there. And if you have joined us late, Lenny Hayes, a late exclusion, woke up ill this morning. David Armitage, who didn't play in the reserves yesterday, has taken his place in the team. Holding free kick, and on cue, Armitage gets the free.
Well, it's 22 tackles North Melbourne, 7 St Kilda. We know they've based all their pressure on tackling and their ability to hold the opposition up. But North Melbourne at the moment, so even this, the transition just didn't happen like it has been.
So Gilbert to Dempster. Revolt. And it looks okay. McWalter. Dempster. Milne calling for it. It's in Schneider's direction instead.
McMahon's left his man to help out, and Schneider's clever.
Milne waited back. 45 from goal. Wobbles it towards Kazitsky and Rewald.
Well done,
Grimer. And the kick good too. There's a 2-on-1 out here. Greenwood made the ground, hands it up to Swallow, and they're away. Open forward line awaits.
Man too. That was silly play from Grant.
Adams short. Edwards.
Oh, he's kept that alive, I think.
Can he keep his feet and gather? He keeps his feet and kicks. They're behind.
Because we were just watching Jason Graham there. Now he's on Lee Adams, but the North Melbourne player was running without any pressure on him. We just see there the kick from Edwards. He had to stay in the North Melbourne player. Don't let the dangerous player run forward and get an uncontested possession.
Yeah, spot on. And I reckon that the coaches will be saying that to him. All you did was made it easy for the North Melbourne player there.
Now this is a free off the ball here.
No, you've smashed him 100 metres off the ball. You can't
And it's North Melbourne's free kick from the goal square.
North Melbourne free kick.
It's against St Kilda. Brent Harvey. I think it's McWalter.
Umpire Stephen Grunt explaining it.
Jason Graham just off the ground as well.
So you heard the contact was made inside the centre square, but because the ball was at full forward for North Melbourne.
And Harvey having a go at Jones and they're running off the ground. There's a lot happening in this game.
Well, Brent Harvey's just had 1 touch so far.
And he adds another half dozen to the scoreboard.
That's a great start. Rowan Smith, I'll head down to you. There's no doubt Brent Harvey was saying something to Clinton Jones running off the ground.
Yeah, it was because actually McWalter gave away the free kick to Boom because I think Boom was just going to give it to Clint Jones, and McWalter actually came in and then just whacked Harvey. So that's why the free kick was given there, Spud.
That'd be a little different for Brent Harvey, but a yap.
Well, these clearances, because I know you're all over your clearances, and rightly so, you played all your football in the midfield. 9-3, because they've won all 4 centre clearances, including the first one, the start of the game.
Well, it's a competitive effort by big Hamish McIntosh, the big bodies, but that, you know, they like to hit it backwards.
Lenny Hayes is a big out for the Saints at the moment.
He's a crucial player for St Kilda. Look at this.
We're about to tick into time on opening term, and the Saints are scoreless.
They've only had 5 entries.
3-2, plays no score. 20 minutes gone.
St Kilda only denied the opposition 38 entries in. Already they've got 10 in already, North Melbourne. They're well above average of what St Kilda allow the opposition in a quarter of football.
So let's have a little look at this setup here now. The big bodies of North Melbourne, the dangerous players, the moving players. Andrew Swallow's been terrific. I'll be watching him. Armitage, his opponent.
Gardner with a big palm on it.
There's another clearance.
Another clearance. Rawlings sides his way through. Long kick. And Goldstein almost held there. Got a hands to it. Tries to go again. Greenwood. Campbell hands it up. Adams 1-2 at Campbell. Wobbles it to full forward. Edwards. Petrie. They've got the first 4.
They are on, and Pickers, that passage of play, if we watch the last 30 seconds of that play, every loose ball, every contest, there's only one team going to ground, and that's St Kilda, under pressure. Let's have a look at this. Let's walk through this and have a look. There's the high ball, so good spoil there for St Kilda. We'll give you that. There's one St Kilda go down. There's 2 go down under pressure. There's the kick. Beautiful kick there through there, and that is great play. There's no doubt St Kilda, they are just off the ball at the moment. The contested possessions, the clearance, and also the tackles.
Well, it's all the key indicators that they've been so good at all year. And there's James Brayshaw, chairman with Brad Scott, who'd be pretty impressed with his start. But the key indicators are saying that St Kilda, and I'm really going to keep an eye on Ross Lyon at quarter time, because he won't be happy with this sort of stuff. They're getting beaten out of the middle every time.
He started well, Brad Scott.
That's 5 centre clearances in a row.
James Brayshaw's happy with the move of appointing him already. Goldstein
That's
thrown out of it. That's a free against Zach Dawson, and Goldie to take it.
Now, Danny, he's trailed his opponent every time his ball's gone in. You're a full back. He's got to somehow get front spot, surely.
Well played, Goldstein there. Front spot, threw the arms out to accentuate the grab.
It is good play, Dwayne, I'll grant it that, but speed factor, Dawson would beat him in a 100-metre sprint by 20 metres, so he has to play in front of the tall ruckman, Zach Dawson.
Kicked 5 goals here against the Demons a few weeks ago. He's got one today. They have the first 5. The Saints haven't scored.
Well, what a great start by North Melbourne. They've got the corridor well. We talked about St Kilda allowing teams to get the corridor. Well, every time they've brought the ball in, they've gone the long kick. You look at this. He cuts back in here. Swallow's got to be. They've got to do something about Swallow. He's inside 50 again. Kick to the tall target. They've got 5 goals out of what you'd consider marking players. They've got 2 to Petrie. They've got 2 to Edwards. And they've got Goldstein now with a goal as well. Not all from marks, but they're all tall players.
And Swallow, just have a look at his stats for the first quarter. 12 disposals. He's had 6 handball receives, which means he's getting a lot of space. He's had 2 clearances, 2 tackles. He is on fire at the moment.
This is the team that's won 1 of its past 11 games, North Melbourne, up against the team that's lost 1 of its past 20. Well, they get a clearance finally. Kazitsky flies, Revolt, little fumble, picked it up, and finally they're on the board.
Well, the crowd summed it up. They were happy with the first centre clearance for the Saints, and that's what's going to happen. Fantastic play. We know they're a brave team, St Kilda, and they're a proud team. They won't be happy with the way they've started. There's a lot of work off the ball in the middle there as well for Rito and Montagna. We just see the long, strong kick to Cozzy there. It was beautiful crumbing from Nick Revolt. We normally see Revolt there lead out and take a contested mark, but that's a magnificent front and square from the St Kilda skipper. Classic play, isn't it? Centre clearance, long to your tall forward, front and square goal.
They've mixed up the numbers inside. They put Montagna inside the centre square. He's been outside. He's been on the wing, half forward. Goddard's in there. They've got their A-team in the centre, really. King needs to give a competitive effort here because McIntosh has been pretty good.
It took them 23 minutes to get their first score, St Kilda. Will they get another clearance? McWalter, there was an edge in the side. It wasn't in the back. Umpire was good enough to recognise it. We'll get another ball up.
It was a great play from McWalter, but again, it was Rawlings, the 200 gamer, he was there with him, making every contest a hard one.
Jason Graham's ball, a shepherd, as you heard.
Montagna on his own out this side line.
And he can really set sail here. He's got no one ahead of him. He can run to 50.
Goal away.
He doesn't. He shorts to Revolt in the Revolt pocket, as we can call it now. This is the exact spot as last week.
Okay, now, an interesting conversation with you before we went on air here today, Danny, about Tony Lockett's theory from this position on the ground.
Well, Tony Lockett's theory was if you're going to miss to the left of the left goal post, because you're giving the ball a chance to go through the goals. Where Nick Revolt missed
Well,
was...
he's kicked that 100 times in his mind this week.
Yeah, well done, Nick Revolt. And you're right, he gave the goals a chance there. That was a magnificent kick. He went back, he nailed it. He would have had, not only in his mind, Wayne, I would have thought Nick Revolt, a professional, would have had 20 to 30 kicks from that position during the week. He's a real professional.
Well, he's had 2 hours warming up. He probably did have a few pings. We saw him here at 11:08 warming up. And what happened in that situation there, I reckon you'll find that Ferrito's opponent was Montagna. As soon as Montagna, Ferrito gave away that free kick and stood the mark, he took off to this side of the ground, Joey Montagna, and they saw him, used him, and he uses the ball so well when he brings it inside 50.
Well, that's a relief for the St Kilda midfield. They've had 2 centre clearances, well, albeit one a free kick, but they've scored 2 quick goals.
It's not a real surprise, is it, if you start getting your hands on the ball in the centre square.
North Melbourne 5 goals, 2. Nick Revolt 2 straight. The clearance lower, hands it back, missed Anthony Quilt. Thumps it long.
Danger signs here.
Kazitsky in the spot, good hands.
Great grab. That is a super kick. The North Melbourne players just gravitated towards the ball and then they kicked it to the fat side. So the 2 North Melbourne players, just see them just get in front of Big Cozzy here. They should have hedged their bets, one in front, one behind. It was well read from Great Cozzy, but it was the kick that really set up the power mark from Big Cozzy. He's the best contested mark player in the competition. Number 23 for the Saints.
The North had their hands on the ball in the centre. Just a slip by Anthony cost them.
3 goals, 2 here against Essendon last week. Never in doubt.
No,
3 goals within a minute and a half.
Good goal. I think it was the slip from Anthony, but also the handball from Ed Lower. It just went behind, which meant that he had to, if he had to put the ball 2 metres in front, they were away. Just have a look at that handball there.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Spud. This kick by Gwilt was outstanding. He's kicked that 60 metres across his body to the advantage of Justin Kazitsky, and he's the best contested mark in the AFL, this bloke. 2 players coming on. He's just got sticky fingers.
Well, what we've seen here already, North need to continue to win the centre clearance. Why? Because it doesn't allow a North Melbourne winger to get down and double team Cozzy and Revolt. So North need to maintain their intensity around the centre clearances.
They haven't really got a sweeper here, North, so if he hits it forward, which they don't often do, as you can see, they had an empty area there to hit towards centre-half forward. Most teams like to hit back in that situation, to the player with his back to the opposition goals.
Milne coming off for a rest, Stevie Milne.
A lot of numbers around the ball.
Perfect palm down. King to Harvey. Rawlings. Bouncing ball straight through the legs of Greenwood. McIntosh, Petrie, all had a piece of it. No decisive possession there. Quilt.
That's a good
super
kick too.
Super kick.
Revolt peels back. This is for number 3. Little fumble. And out of play. Well, last time these 2 teams met, we spoke about the fact North Melbourne opened up a 22-point quarter-time lead. Saints ended up winning by 46, and Justin Kazitsky kicked 6 goals that day. His career best was 6 that day. And he is looming large again with Revolt right now as they fight their way back. Got it up. Del Santo. Handball over the head of Gwilt. Watt comes back onto it but fumbles.
Went one-handed, Watt.
He did.
Gwilt.
Low percentage. That's Snyder on short. Snyder's not all that happy with the Graham option there. He had 15 metres on his opponent. That's the one-handed effort that you talk about, Spud. You need a body line the ball in that situation. One hand's not good enough against the best side in the AFL, who we know play body football.
Grimer takes off. Kazitsky Wasn't looking.
To block the exits here, Saints. It's going to be danger signs for North here.
Does it ever?
Hanson, Thompson, little push off, runs himself out of trouble. Grimer, who started it all.
Needs to get a shepherd.
And edged out.
Well, that's St Kilda at their best. Once they get the ball inside their forward 50, they're the best team in the competition of blocking the exit. As soon as he played onto the right, he was always in trouble.
Out of the ruck. Gardner gets it on the boot and kicks it out of play on the full. Michael Gardner, one of the many fairy tales in the Saints camp this year if they win the flag. That man. Scott McMahon in game 50 from the pocket.
You'll have to go along down the line because if he plays on out this side, St Kilda got 3 extra players to block the exit.
That could be out of play on the full.
Well,
in fact, not could be, it is.
That's the perceived pressure now and the mental side of the game where Essendon were outstanding last week. They didn't worry about the pressure in the zone. They took the game on. All of a sudden we see North just go back in their shells a little bit this last 5 minutes.
So Goddard short to Clinton Jones. Plays on.
Good chase.
Short pass. And McIntosh got in the hole but dropped the chest mark. Adams overran it. Free kick. Too high.
Since the
Lockie Hanson's ball.
Sorry, Dwayne. Since the Goldstein goal where it was 5 goals to zip, they've been inside 6 times in Kilda for 3 goals. North Melbourne haven't had it back inside their forward 50. Now that was about the 24-minute mark of the quarter. With 7 minutes left on the clock from memory.
Fisher, well played by Smith. Got it back. Rawlings, Gibson.
Petrie needs to be used here.
And it sat on him a little, but it was good enough.
Now this is where there could be some trouble for the Saints.
Called to play on.
Just a bit slow.
And that's too wide. Out of play on the full again.
Well, what needed to happen there, a couple of half-back flankers should have come off their St Kilda half-forwards like Essendon. You just see the blueprint last week. The counter-attack from last week from Dempsey, Atkinson. They just took the game on. As soon as an Essendon player marked the ball where Petrie was, there was 3 or 4 runners.
Goddard, Blake, Dawson all combined. Let's get to the open side. Missed the handball target. Gilbert mops up that mess.
Well, this is good defensive pressure from North, forcing them to concede some ground here.
Montagna. Dempster.
It's pretty much one-on-one all up the ground ahead of him, with a couple of players dropping back, but mainly one-on-one stuff going on here from North.
Still, if they go in at quarter time, 14 points in front, North Melbourne, you'd have to be reasonably happy with that. Free kick, push out, Gibson's ball.
Well, that's the beauty of Gibson. We talked about his big motor pickers, but it's his ability to play one-on-one. He's started his career as a short power defender playing on the big gorillas from opposition teams, and in the one-on-one situations around the midfield, he's a great go-to player, not only when North have got the ball, but obviously when he's on a midfielder, it's very low that he's going to get beaten one-on-one.
Just sloppy kicking by North Melbourne in the last 5 minutes.
Well, it allows St Kilda to get over and man up. Grimer short to Thompson, and now they have manned up. St Kilda and North Melbourne might consider going back out the other side now.
Well, they just got to be, their ball use has got to be good, and that's not a great option.
That's
really.
a 1-on-2, and Edwards was the one and still won it.
He did, but you don't want to be kicking short like 25 metres to a 50-50. Zach Dawson being led to the ball a bit today, Spud. We know that Max Hudgston's out of the side, although it sounds like he may have a bit of a slight hamstring injury from the VFL game yesterday.
But they did have a choice to make at selection, Dawson or Hudgston, and they went with Dawson.
It's a sloppy kick from Thompson.
Montagna, good fist away that time by McMahon. Koziski had that. Anthony, big ball to win this with 30 seconds on the clock. Dawson and Edwards. Ball feeds back toward the line. Dawson slaps it to Gardner nicely. Armitage can set it up for the last score. And shoots it wide. Montagna got a hand on that before it travelled out. We'll get a ball in.
You mentioned the Dawson situation with Hudgston. I'm convinced that St Kilda have said if you're not a good user by foot, you're not in our team at the minute. And I reckon with Ball and also Hudgston, they're not great users by foot, and I think that that's what they're telling them at the moment. I'm not saying they won't get back in the side, but that's an area that neither player is great by foot.
Goddard quickly to Grand. They need a mark from this kick.
Where's Cozzy?
High bomb. Cozzy's trying to get there. Can't get there. Milne trying to get there now and can't. Little push on Rawlings. Play an advantage. Harvey doesn't know there's only a couple of seconds left. but they'll go in North Melbourne with a 14-point lead at quarter time after they kicked the opening 5 goals of the game, the Kangaroos, and the Saints didn't score until the 23rd minute of the opening term. 5-2-32, plays 3 straight, 18.
See Brad Scott there, the coach of North Melbourne for next year and, well, the next 3 years, and James Brayshaw also. And I had that choice of youngster two pickers just quickly. I had a chance of playing to 19s, but I decided to play senior football for a couple of years at East Ballarat, and it did harden you up. And I came down as a 20-year-old. There's no doubt you're ready to play contested hard footy.
Well, you used to blokes whacking you in the head for a start.
Yeah.
Daniel Bradshaw's another one of those. Didn't play in the under-18 system, and I think he kicked something like 16, 15 goals against men as a 17, 18-year-old, and all of a sudden scouts are saying, well, hang on, just because he's not playing under-18s doesn't mean he can't play.
We'll look for a centre clearance feast here. It was North Melbourne early in the first quarter and St Kilda later on in that first quarter.
Who will get the first clearance? It's Goddard. Bangs it to Milne, dives half volley, didn't try and claim the mark, tried to shuffle it out. Tunnel ball there from McMahon. It was a risk. Graham fell. McIntosh got it up. Anthony, high bomb, half forward. Petrie stands under it. It floated a little on all of them.
Plays on Campbell.
Yes, knocks it to his own advantage. Campbell pounces, gives to Garlett, and tried the sneaky kick. Didn't really work though. Needed to hit a chest. Montagna, and if you turn it over against the Saints, they can kill you. Schneider.
2 kicks away is Kaczynski.
Shortish, Milne.
And Rewalt now.
Rewalt leads short. Milne with a spear.
Copybook football there. You saw McMahon just lay off Milne a little bit. It was Schneider's kick. Now, McMahon had to be hip on hip, and that would have forced Schneider to kick long and strong, and then you go back. But you just see Schneider, you lower his eyes, and there's McMahon just laying off Milne a little bit, which means then that Cozzy and Rewalt are one-on-one. Great play.
I love their setup. The Saints forwards. Lee Tudor's got them going beautifully. They know they're so predictable to each other. And as soon as he turned, then Rewalt went. He was behind Hansen, got in front of Hansen. Milne got on his bike, just got it to the space, and away he went.
Last week was all about his miss. And that's his first miss today. 2 goals, 1 for Nick Rewalt.
When you get back to Lee Tudor, Schneider also, he's the guy that normally gets the exit kick. He plays a high half forward, which means that Milne kicks the multiple goals at times. Schneider's kicked goals also.
Very, very clever player, Adam Schneider. Very smart footballer. But they've just got such a settled forward lineup. I don't think there's any issues with their forward line. I think the defence has been outstanding, but it's been the midfield pressure and across the ground pressure really has been, they've been so good, St Kilda, this year.
Nice hands. Lockie Hansen re-signed to stay long-term under Brad Scott.
He's really improved the last 10 weeks, Lockie Hansen. Another couple of pre-seasons in the gym, and he'll end up that power defender, power forward. So promising signs there.
Just the 5 kicks last week and a goal in the loss to the West Coast, and he's already had more possessions than that today, and we're just a couple of minutes into the second term. Liam Anthony dodges around Schneider, heads back to Scott Thompson, and we're essentially back with our starter, but at least they've got some space.
Well,
Petrie.
Ferrito's forward here. If they can find him, he should use him really, because there's nothing else on. There's a poor kick. That's just a poor kick. He should have used, is it Edwards or Ferrito? I'm sure it was.
Well, again, it comes down to handball receives. If North Melbourne continue to play with short kicks to uncontested marks.
Very rare you see a player turn his back on the ball, do a 360 and then find it again in the air. But that's exactly what Jones did. Gave to Baker, hands to Goddard. They're out of trouble. Rewalt on the move. This breeze a little fluky at the moment. It's been sailing over players' heads a couple of times. Rewalt, nice hack inside 50. Liam Anthony knew what he was doing. Short pass, and again it sits up. Garlett did well. Gathered his own crumb.
It's a clever play,
Good recovery.
Rawlings.
Big Josh Smith sits in half forward.
Should have gone earlier than that. Rawlings now tries to hit him and almost does. Smith made the commitment.
Look at that pace.
Campbell at full speed ahead. Drives it home.
That was unbelievable. Talk about giving Stevie Baker a windburn. Not Stevie Baker's fault. That was just unbelievable pace from Matty Campbell.
Well, it was indefendable, really. He hit the ball at full tilt. Wasn't a great entry.
Have a look at
From a
this.
stationary start, we just saw him there on the screen and put the afterburners on. He put 10 metres on Stevie Baker from a standing start. That's great play.
Oh, that was just the pickup under pressure. And Gilbert, he left him in his wake as well.
That's just brilliance.
It certainly was. He's a dangerous little player, Matty Campbell.
Well, he played bootless as a junior in Darwin and running onto footballs countless times just like this. And it was fantastic to see. Look at that. You can't teach that.
Well, Stevie Baker will be aware of the leg speed issue now, and if he's thinking smart, he'll say, I'll just play 5 metres goal side. We'll let you get a hit up uncontested mark about 60 metres out from goal.
Yeah, don't want to be turned around by him, I wouldn't have thought, after that.
Gardner with a flick over the back to Schneider. Clever. Kick smothered. Del Santo. Graham.
He's the release player, Graham, isn't he?
Chip kick wide. Okay from Fisher. Finds Gardner.
They're obviously not all that concerned about what damage Graham's doing because they've allowed him to do that, to be that player. I would have thought he kicks the ball a bit better than...
Hamish McIntosh just needs to switch on at times. We're just watching Gardner getting that uncontested mark. Hamish was stand stationary after the stoppage, so just needs to be aware that Gardner pushes forward.
Blake got it from Gilbert. Bounces through half-back. Milne.
So he gets on his bike, Milne, though.
Runs to 50. He used some speed. He misses.
They've done the flip too with the big blokes. Grimer's gone. I think they're doing a rotation between Grimer and Hansen on Revolt and Kaczynski.
Well, you'll have to because of the Revolt endurance motor, no doubt.
Dangerous kick in. Revolt made Liam Anthony earn it.
I think we could be, if this is a close game, we'll be up here going, ooh, 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 all day, because that's the way they're going to have to play to beat St Kilda. Bringing out a defence, they have to take some risks.
Good lead from Drewy wide.
He needs to mark this, though.
And Gilbert made the contest. Look at the man at Petrie. Too good for him.
Now, they've got that many loose players here. North gets it on quick.
Look forward, son.
Wobbly ball. Tough one for Smith. Good crunch with Blake. Fisher.
It's a couple of times Drew has just gone back with the mark. Now, I know he went to ground, but he's still had an opportunity to get back quickly and look forward. He looked laterally initially.
Gilbert to Graham to McWalter. Couldn't find the handball target. Petrie tried to get it out. Goddard steals it back. Bounces it inside 50. Race on. As all the Saints looked at each other and wondered who was going to go for it. And in the end, we'll get a ball up.
Well, the plans for marking free kicks last week was the highest, Essendon last week, and North Melbourne are playing good football here today, but you've got to take your chances after a mark or free kick and get the ball moving as quickly as possible so you get a one-on-one inside your forward 50.
Well, once you can get the ball to between the centre of the ground on the wing and the half-forward line, you've normally, if you can get it quick enough there, you've normally got 2 or 3 free players because of the way the zone's set up.
McIntosh, it'll palm down. McWalter couldn't get a kick away. Greenwood rolls it towards Ferrito. Nice gather, and the release handball towards Lockie Hansen. It bounced for him. Swallow handballs inboard to Rawlings. Good move, but this. Adams looks up. Free man inside 50. It's Edwards. Turns back onto it. Little fumble. Sidestep. Short pass. Adams dives. It was 15.
Just.
There's still 3 players.
No, he just needs to settle here.
Well, that's what happens. If you get a chance, if you take the game on, high risk, high return, but you've got to continue to take the game on against the Saints.
Been in good goal kicking form. Lee Adams kicked 3-1 last week, the most for North in that loss to the West Coast. So seeing them okay, and squeezes it in. A lead by 24.
Darren Crocker will get the runner out and say that's the way we want to play. Just the start of this quarter, we try to chip the ball around, which gives St Kilda a chance to get their wall back and be able to double team Petrie and the forwards, taking the game on beautifully with hands, and that's, and more importantly, Pickers, through the corridor.
Yeah, it was interesting. We talked the other week. Well, I know that you'd seen the way they played against Hawthorn, basically daring the Hawks to get it in the corridor. Well, we've seen in the last week and early in this game that if you can get it in there and you get it in the hands of the right players, it can be a really, really dangerous position to attack from.
So North Melbourne kicked the first 5 goals of the game. St Kilda the next 3. And now North Melbourne the last 2. From the restart, Gibson.
Centre clearance for North.
Harvey, Rawlings, Garland.
That's been the positive out of the day so far. Their ability to win the ball in the middle, North Melbourne.
Garland turns it over. Goddard, Gilbert, Montagna. Trademark bounce, run and kick to 50. Revolt.
That is a beautiful kick, a beautiful mark.
Back to Montagna. Kaczynski the target. And he threw his opponent out there, Grimer.
Well played, Grimer. Took front position, and that's brave against Cozzy. It was a good show of strength.
And we talked about Greenwood being a 20-year-old recruit. Grimer's 24 years of age, a premiership player with Central Districts. He knows what it's like to play against men. And he's doing very well, Nathan Grimer, in game 12.
Well, he got rewarded with a new contract the other day. That's good body pressure against a bigger man.
Strong through the legs, and you need to be on big Cozzy. That's great play, taking front position.
This is where they've just been so good, North Melbourne.
They've been first hands on it. If this is a ball up, you watch who delivers the ball back to the umpire. I'm tipping it's going to be a North Melbourne player with hands on the ball.
That's the Tom Hafey theory. Every time we get a photo of play in the paper, I want to see more of ours around the ball.
It's a tried and true method, Dwayne, and the contested possessions is an area where last week Essendon were outstanding against the Saints.
A couple of players who are very, very talented players who haven't had an influence at all. Del Sano for St Kilda's only had 3 touches, and Brent Harvey's only had 4 touches for North Melbourne as well. So it's been the other players getting involved.
Brilliant tackle there by Greenwood on Del Santo, who thought he was away there.
Well, these stats...
And Del Santo not happy with Greenwood here. And gives him the free, perhaps. He does.
No, it's got to go to Greenwood.
Yeah. And Del Santo will give away 50. Well, he took some time there.
He's a bit bemused, Nick Del Santo. But these stats don't tell a lie. The tackle count 35 North Melbourne, 20 St Kilda. Contested possessions, North Melbourne 48, St Kilda 37.
Well, we saw before the game, we talked about Essendon winning that area. You mentioned their last month it's been a drop-off. When they've had close games, it's been a drop-off for St Kilda, the contested area of the game. And last week there was a 28 difference against Essendon. And that's an area they'll need to get better on late in this second quarter, in the second half.
Edwards from 4 deep with a big leap. Well played by Goldstein, made a contest. Edwards tackled by 3.
Gee, he did well, though.
Well, he's playing for his life, Aaron Edwards. He knows the new coach is watching. He's been lucky to get back in as we look at Del Santo and Greenwood here.
What's happened there?
Well, Del Santo just pushed his face down.
There's nothing in that.
Gee. Couldn't have been a free kick for that.
No, not at all.
Armitage. Revolt's leading. He's got to get this.
Well, it's a super kick from Armitage. We've got 3 St Kilda players.
Milne's got forward.
Kaczynski short to the pocket.
It's a good second lead there by Big Cozzy, but Milne had got away from Thompson.
Just on Del Santo, it's okay to get yourself up, but are you allowed to get yourself up from a pack with your hand on another player's back or head?
Look, probably not, Dwayne, but in the spirit of our game, I'm sure the umpires would know Greenwood's playing to the nth degree in the rules as well.
That's prejudice against taggers.
No, it's not at all.
It is.
Goddard tries the big leap. Well, you can't let a prior from previous encounters, previous contests, be part of your judgment for that individual contest for the ball.
Especially coming from a man who made giving someone an opposition forward an ear massage an art form.
That's true. Hanson. It's the kick away.
I'm probably speaking from experience.
Son, a problem for the players again there. Raf Clark dropped that. Harvey extracted a kick somehow.
Oh, look at Hamish forward.
So Lower finds McIntosh.
And Campbell's got forward goal side.
And he's got the speed. He just needs the kick to be good. It sits. Dawson gets back. Campbell's got 3 to beat here. Tries with a tackle. Ball not clear. Jones.
If Hamish had have thought that way through a little bit better, all he had to do was kick the ball to
the goal square.
To space. To the goal square, and Campbell would have run onto an easy goal because he was against Zach Dawson.
He could have had the 50-50 bet, kicked it to the goal line. He might have got the ball dribble through, or Campbell quick enough to run there.
Well, turned into a race, Dwayne. We saw Campbell kick the goal of the day so far from the front and square.
Good tackle,
speed race. So once you turn into a foot race against the full back versus Campbell, there's only one person that's going to win that race, and that's Matty Campbell.
Spud, you were talking, sorry, Piggers, you were talking about midfield taggers before. What about Brady Rawlings' play today? Playing off half-back flank, basically. He's taken Adam Snyder to the clean. He's had 16 possessions so far.
Montagna, very kickable shot, and he's missed everything. And that's the tale of St Kilda today. It just hasn't gone right.
Well, it's perceived pressure now.
Look at this tap by Stephen King. That was as good as you'd see. And giving it to a bloke who normally would finish in Montagna, but that tap by King was outstanding.
And you're right, with Stephen King at the moment, this is where the Saints need to capitalise, Pickers, because Goldstein is still developing. Hamish McIntosh has pushed forward, so it expects St Kilda to win some clearances at the moment.
He says.
Oh, gee, that's a tough call. That looks 18, 19, 20.
That was definitely 15 metres. They paid a lot smaller than that. A lot shorter than that, I should say.
Let him run here, guys.
Montagna doesn't argue the call for too long.
One thing St Kilda have been able to do is dry up the inside 50s for North now.
Adams through traffic, bounces it to half forward. Ball eludes a couple. Well played by Smith, but in the end it was knocked up by Blake to Fisher. Dawson, Raf Clark, Dempster, and he can go here. Has some space. Armitage calls wide in his direction, and it's too wide. Ball in. 15 minutes gone, second term. North Melbourne lead by 24 points. And if you've joined us late, that's not the biggest lead they've had. They kicked the first 5 goals of the game, the Kangaroos, as Petrie has a rest, and a well-earned one. Gardner against Goldstein. Dempster, little fumble, Swallow knocks it toward the boundary line, and we'll get a ball in. Andrew Swallow, another who's extended his contract in recent times with the Kangaroos. As we see Del Santo and Milne having a sit down.
They had the 3 disposals, Nick Del Santo. Right.
Goldstein almost rips that out of the right court, and we'll get another ball up. Yeah, and there's a battle within the battle in some respects as well. St Kilda players know that there's only a couple of free votes on offer before Brownlow time this week and next week.
Well, not only that, Dwayne, there's a battle for selection as well. Luke Ball had 40 disposals yesterday, and Lenny Hayes obviously out pre-game with an illness. So
this is good pressure by the Saints.
Grimer. So there's a battle within the battle within the battle.
Yeah.
Ray, arguably the recruit of the year. Farron Ray gives to Fisher. Heads wide. Jones, Gilbert. Kazitsky, short. Just misread that slightly, and Grimer got a hand on his back.
Gee, he didn't need to. He's over his head.
I think it was a steadying hand. I think he almost fell onto the back of Kazitsky. Kazitsky misread it slightly.
Del Santo just on the ground here. Will he get the ball?
Yeah.
He'll use him. Oh, if he gets him.
Oh.
Sort of sums up the Saints. Danny, the rebound 50 numbers are 18 to 9 in favour of North Melbourne. So their ball use and their efficiency coming out of half-back, which is where St Kilda really set up all their drive. It's been lacking today.
Little flick down for Rito. Shrugs the tackle. Not a lot to go to by hand. Tough ball, and Smith made the commitment. Came hard, Josh Smith. Farito. Swallow. Thumps it long.
Need a crummer, and Campbell's got to have to be the crummer here.
Almost a mark there to Gilbert. Not paid. Campbell. Dawson. Handballed back. Garland with the tackle. No in the back. Free to Montagna. And we'll get another ball up. Now, the Saints didn't score until 23 minutes into the first term, and they haven't kicked a goal in the first 17 minutes of this second term. From the ball up, Montagna. Over the head of Gibson, Rawlings.
Well, the Tommy Hafey theory's right. They're being outnumbered.
Rawlings stumps it long again. Goldstein lurking. And this time Raf Clark's fist wins out.
Well, the clearances again, 20 to North Melbourne, 12 to the Saints. Lenny Hayes, a big loss before the game, would help that. And Luke Ball, as we talked about, 40 possessions for Sandringham yesterday.
Goldstein and Gardner. Almost a throw there. Little tap up was okay in the end. Goddard's ball wide. Gilbert. Some space to run. Revolt calls back. Graham could go all the way. Sizes it up from 60. Heads to the square. Revolt got there. Almost a second grab. Snyder tried to keep it alive. And we'll get a ball in. Gee, he really had to make some ground there, Nick Riewoldt. He was never really in that contest.
Super play.
Look at that.
The flick down. Snyder, kickable by his standards, ran into traffic. Armitage, Graham, he bends it around and smothered on the line. Obbs got back.
Plenty of the footy. Jason Graham is at 17 touches now. Mind you, Brady Williams has had 18 for North Melbourne, but 11 handball receives, Spud, for Jason Graham.
Yeah, well, that's his game. He's the, I hate to use an American term, but he's the quarterback. He's the go-to player under pressure. Probably hasn't used the ball as well as he possibly could today. He's going at 60% kicking efficiency.
Saints are really trying to choke him down here.
Big pack competed for that. Ball in. 23 minutes. 23 points the margin. 20 minutes gone.
If you're looking at efficiency rates, North Melbourne are kicking at 68%. St Kilda 59. They've had the exact same amount of possession, St Kilda and North. It's the ball use of North at the moment. It's about 10% better.
And again, a big pack around this ball. Gibson wins it. Can't get a kick away. Liam Anthony. McIntosh changed his mind, but he'd already half handballed it.
Well, it's a defensive game this second quarter. Have a look at the stats in the second quarter, Pickers. The inside 50s, 10 to St Kilda, 4 to North Melbourne. Now, the positive for both teams, North, when they get in there, they're scoring. And the unfortunate part for St Kilda, they haven't scored a goal for 10 inside 50s.
Yeah, Riewoldt's got goal side here.
Milne, Riewold. Big grab that.
That's a great grab.
He got behind his opponent, and the kick went just to a bit of space, and he just went straight past Lockie Hansen.
The kick was perfect. We talked about Graham having 11 handball receives. There's another one. The kick was perfect. Why? He kicked the ball to space. When you play on Nick Riewoldt, he will find a yard to get there.
Oh, he's a great player, Riewoldt.
2 goals in the opening term. Already had a shot to this end and missed this quarter, but he now has 3.
He's the most dangerous big man on the ground. There's no question about that. His work rate, outstanding. We saw him before the game warming up. Just a total professional. 3 goals. And look at this. Eyes on the ball the whole time. He didn't even take any notice of Shannon Watt coming back across his vision. Just kept his eyes on the footy. And Lockie Hansen wasn't far away, but give front spot to Nick Riewoldt. He normally marks him.
They needed that goal, though. That was the 11th inside 50 for their first goal, so it's been really good play.
11:09 he was here today with us, having a little warm-up at this end, Nick Riewoldt.
With the seagull and the security at that stage.
Well, I got tired watching his warm-up, let alone playing on him. It's an amazing effort. That's why he's such a super professional, Nick Riewoldt.
Greenwood tries to break free, can't.
Just lifted their work rate now, the Saints, the last 5 minutes with their pressure.
Montagna, Del Santo. Bouncing ball. Jones keeps it alive. Gardner flies. Can't take the mark. Milne lays the tackle on McMahon. Ball up. You did say that he likes to run 3Ks before every game.
Yeah, he's played really well. Scott McMahon today. Milne's only had the 4 disposals. They've had 25 inside 50s, the Saints, so that's a very good game from the 50-gamer, playing his 50th game today.
So Nick Riewoldt having a rest. And we'll get another ball up. 5 minutes left on the clock to half-time.
The key stats will start to tell you that they're starting to get right on top of you. St Kilda, they just haven't been able to put it on the scoreboard yet. 25 insides to 16, inside 50s.
Well, he tried. Not sure that was a kick. Does that count, tried, does it?
I'm not sure.
I mean, if it's an illegal disposal when you tackled, it's an illegal disposal whether you try or not.
You've called it beautifully, Dwayne. So chicken wing tackle. Did he get...
He's got a knee to it.
He got a knee to it, so...
No, that doesn't count. It has to be below the knee for a kick. From the ball in, Farito. Caught, got a handball out.
He's been very good in the clinches today, Farito, with his big body.
Dalcerto got it from Clark. Fisher. Goddard. Bangs it up high. It's Kosicki's ball. Can't mark it. Gets the crumb. Caught, dragged down. Threw it away. Advantage play on.
We've got Petrie out here wide, and now we have to hold the ball up because there's 6 and Kilda players. There's one area he cannot play because he looked up and he's just got a wall of St Kilda players in front of him.
Good tackle that.
He wasn't able to use the Clark defence. I tried.
No. Tell you what, I might be using it a bit in the next few years.
We've used it a few times when we played. Pickers when the coach said, "How'd you go today?" I tried.
Gibson long, big fly goes up from Gilbert. Petrie couldn't mark it either. And quick hands, Smith to Anthony, but another good.
Well, it opens it up for the
ball
Saints.
for Saints to win at half-back with space. Although Watt cuts it off, and that kick poor. Blake gets back.
There is. Just needed to keep it low.
Well, the first entry had to go long down the line. Normally, when you've got a free player, they're going to be in the corridor. So if you kick blindly, gee, this hasn't been great.
Turns it over to Thompson.
4 kicks at the moment, these last 4.
Anthony.
Well, loose player at centre-half forward. He's going to have to be strong here.
Smith, big fist Dawson, good fist. McIntosh.
McIntosh made a couple of massive blues with his hands. Scored up.
Rawlings got it up. Adams had it, lost it. King goes in hard. McIntosh, nice play. Smith sold the dummy to a couple. Sends it inside 50. It's touch play on. Not clear. Jones dives in. And no free.
It's a bit high to me, the Jones one.
Rebolt back on. So as it stands, North Melbourne, who led by 14 points at quarter time, lead by 17, and they're a chance to win 2 quarters in a row against the almighty Saints. Fisher just got a handball away. Blake through traffic.
Too easy. Well played from the Saints. Good composure out of that stoppage.
Farron Ray to Justin Kazitsky.
Great.
Now, Rewalt's got the afterburners on running hard here.
Got 2 to beat. Revolt gets back there in time, and well played Obst. Knocked it away. Handballs to Rawlings, to Hanson, McMahon.
It was really well played, Obst, because, gee, the running of Rewalt. He put 10 metres on Hanson, and if he didn't get some support there, he would have got the ball. Rewalt.
Swallow called to play on. We're down to 2 minutes to half-time. Petrie might get a run at this. He's held up a little. And the fist thump it out from Sam Gilbert.
Just look at Obst.
Look at this bit of play.
He saved a certain mark.
He did that in the last game that he played when he had his lung punctured on the Gold Coast and had to be driven all the way back to Melbourne after that game. It's been a long time coming, his return game, but he's playing well. Fisher, Raph Clark, Zach Dawson. Over the head of McWalter, Shannon Watt. Tried to knock it to his own advantage. Dempster, half grab, gets it up. McWalter, Graham, they're away. Graham through the wing. A wobbler, helicopter, and Revolt made it look okay.
It was a very good chase from Shannon White. Right, all forwards in front. The looping ball. But King pushing forward.
He's kicked 3. From outside the 50. Distance not a worry. Accuracy yet again is.
3 goals, 2 for the Saints skipper. 9 marks.
They're 1 minute 10 away, North Melbourne, from winning 2 quarters in a row.
Well, they'll be wrapped with this scoreline at half-time. We've got North Melbourne players huddling in the middle of the ground.
Goldstein will have to motor here. Flies and makes the contest. Rawlings. Obst.
Big fella.
Chip kick is good.
That's good composure.
Was
very good composure. Look to go behind the ball here and just ice the clock now up until half-time. What St Kilda need to do is just play man-on-man football now. Force North Melbourne to kick to a contest.
Alan Obst again. First game of the year.
It's a good kick. It's a very risky kick, that one.
Lee Adams.
Kicking over the man on the mark to try and find a loose player that's 30 metres away is risky. That went about 8 metres, and he even thought it did. That's why he played on.
Bumped as he kicks it.
That's a good result. The bounty thrown on the wing.
Now, the dangerous players here are out the back. Graham's just basically doing his own thing here. I'd be watching him, his defensive side, but he'd be looking to get on his bike through the corridor if they could flip it over the back.
Especially King on Goldstein there, just to show his strength.
Garlick tries to burst his way through, hands it up to Farron Ray. Kazitsky on the move to try and get there. Does on the bounce. Seconds continue to roll. Handball missed Fisher. They need a mark on attacking 50. High ball. Wilt over the top. So time might beat him. Siren sounds. Half-time here at the Dome. And the Saints fans a little shell-shocked after last week's surprise defeat. And looking again at perhaps another upset. North Melbourne, 16 points in front. And a little bit of arguing amongst the Security players from the look of that. 7-2-44. Plays 4-4-28. Well, you're spot on, Smithy. Nick Delsato, he had the most possessions for the Saints last week. 27 possessions in that loss to Essendon, a game in which no Saint had 30+. There's the bench for the Saints. And
Wayne, one player there, Stevie Baker. Yeah. He's only had the 2 disposals now. He's played on Matty Campbell and Lee Adams. They've kicked 2 goals, and a real speed factor there in that first half, Pickers.
Well, he only had 3 kicks last week, Stephen Baker, so he was lucky to keep his spot when they dropped Luke Ball. And as you said, 40 possessions yesterday, Luke Ball, so be a chance to be brought back in as Brad Scott and James Brayshaw chew the fat.
Chew the fat. He looks a bit pensive there, James Brayshaw. I will say that Shannon Watt, we mentioned before, has done a terrific job on Milne. He's giving away a few centimetres there, as they say. I mean, Milne is listed at, what's Milne listed at? 178. Shannon Watt's listed at 193.
And there's Brent Harvey there, and Clinton Jones. He's been moved to full forward, so making Clinton Jones play at full back there.
I think they've made the move as well. McMahon onto Milne for this second half.
Yep.
So North Melbourne led by 14 points at quarter time. They led by 16 points as we start this second half. And immediately Garlett gets it back and they get the clearance. Rawlings, McIntosh. High thump in Hope. Dangerous bounce this. Fisher read it well. Hands off to Ray. Couldn't find the target. Fisher dumped. Montagna, he couldn't trap it. Ball comes out to Campbell.
He's given away some ground, but it's a good vision.
It's a Ferrito to Thompson. Doesn't get a chance to kick many. The feet off. Greenwood gets the shot. Bumped on the kick. Out of play on the full.
That was great vision from Ferrito to Thompson. It's an interesting matchup too, because we've got early. We've got Matty Campbell and Raf Clark on each other. So Raf Clark and Stephen Baker off the ground.
Jones to Ray. Not a lot to go to. He's got Montagna in a 1-on-2. Garlett with Montagna. Over there is Watt with them. He's got 2 to beat here, Montagna. He's done okay so far. Watt dives in, shuffles it back to Garlett. North Melbourne win possession. Harvey, Ferrito, 60 from goal. Dances around one, chips the kick forward, looking for Smith. Gather, Greenwood, just had a sider. Wrap around tackle by McWalter. Splendid.
Certainly was.
There's not a lot he could do, though. It was a sitting duck to some degree. It was a great tackle from McWalter.
Gardner, after a difficult handball to pick up from Dempster.
Good spoil.
Kazitsky almost marked that. Rawlings throws it out. Grimer.
Loose players in the corridor here.
McMahon.
It's going to take a good kick to get it there, though. That's the problem.
Grimer. Well, that's a dangerous kick. Revolt running hard. Hansen with him. Revolt. Good tackle, Hansen. Revolt half dropped that, and that's almost a throw. Not rewarded. Montagna got the handball up. Obst took him on. Got the handball up to Hansen. Stolen back by Revolt. Bouncing ball. Goal square. Schneider got a toe on it. He missed. Only a behind.
Have a look at the tackle. It was a very good tackle. The second effort here from Hansen.
It's a throw. That's a throw.
That's a throw.
And the first one was a drop.
Well, given the benefit of the first one, was definitely the second one.
McMahon long. Revolt almost the pluck. Montagna, Revolt, McWalter. Revolt, Graham. Time to size them up. Little shimmy, and now the long high bomb misses.
It's a let off there. You've got to tackle the hips. Graham showed the North Melbourne player just a piece of the ball and with the shimmy around him.
I reckon it's time to put some time and effort into Jason Graham. He's had 22 touches. He's had 6 inside 50s. He's just been able to play his own game behind the footy here.
And if you tag him, you can break down a lot of his disposals, because out of his 22, as you said, 14 handball receives. So if you play hip on hip, you're cutting those handball receives in half straight away.
He gets behind the footy. In the zone setup, they try to get him free.
Adams.
It's just the 6 inside 50s that's more the worry. I don't think he's the best kick in the team by any stretch. I mean, you'd much prefer him to have the ball than Goddard on Montagna. But by the same token, he's got to the stage where he's getting dangerous now.
Gardner called for that ball off McIntosh, and McIntosh blindly handballed to him.
It's crazy, Goddard.
See, I'd much prefer the ball in this bloke's hands kicking it inside 50.
And as you speak, because he delivers.
He'll be in London next week for sure.
Here's Hamish McIntosh now. He handballed blindly to a voice, and it was his direct opponent, Gardner.
Turnover. Quill takes on Rawlings, loses, holding the ball.
Well, their tackling has started well again, North Melbourne. 51, 52 now to 36. It's a great effort.
Brady Rawlings is having some sort of 200th.
Reimer short. Hanson.
Up to 24 possessions. 25 make that for Brady Rawlings.
And I think we saw brother Jade in the crowd as well, as Watt can't take the mark. So the Richmond coach, his brother here to see him as well. Goddard loops it over the top. Revolt wide to Graham, tucked into the line, goes with the banana. And you mentioned his kicking, Jason Graham. This year at goal has kicked 11 goals, 21.
Yeah. Well, even today, he's had the 15 kicks and he's going at 50%. And you're right, Pickers, though. I think it's time to now put someone on his hip, because 23 disposals in just over half is a lot of football.
It's a lot of footy, all right. I did mention Shannon White. In fact, Marn's been on Mill most of the day.
Yeah.
Marn's done a very good job on Mill.
He has, and I've got that one.
Not 15. Didn't hear the call. Gwilt now hears it, gets onto the left, and he kicks it wide.
But I suppose my point is, I think they're trying to get Watt onto Shannon Watt onto Graham. But the problem is the ball hasn't been able to get it past the centre in the last few minutes for North Melbourne.
Scott Thompson.
So Milne back on the ground here for the Saints. But they've got their zone set up really well here, the Saints.
Long kick towards Edwards, sets and then gets a little nudge. Well played by Blake, ball out of play.
Well, it's a great result. St Kilda have got the best zone from a kicking in the competition, and that's a win. If you can get the ball to the wing for a boundary throw-in, now you've got a 50-50 contest.
If you joined us late, St Kilda has not led today. North Melbourne kicked the first 5 goals of this game, and the Saints have been chasing them ever since.
Because Ed Lowe has been sitting on the bench here just since the start of the third quarter. He's been a defensive half-forward for probably nearly most of his career. Could he go on to Graham?
Well, someone has to at the moment. He's become a bit of a headache for North Melbourne just with the amount of ball. He's already had 4 touches in this quarter.
In saying that, though, North are in front, so unless scoreboard pressure goes in the negative, and look, you do need to read the game and make sure that St Kilda don't get into the game. So the North coaching staff are saying, well, maybe we're getting a little bit of ball around the stoppages.
Well, they've certainly won the stoppages today.
Well, they've got extra because Graham is playing behind, so North have got 1 extra. So they're probably looking at the clearance count and saying, well, we're winning the clearances. As long as we're not getting completely blown away in the scoreboard, we'll continue to allow it to happen.
Well, certainly Shannon Watt's gone to him now. You can see him at the front of the clearance there, front of the stoppage.
Ray. Fisher. Half back in the shadows. Heads for Gwilt, misses him. Adams.
He's been very good today, Adams.
Farito, likewise, shrugs 1 tackle, then the second. Got away from Clark, but trapped by Graham. Handballs over the top. Shimmy was good there from Gwilt. Graham, Fisher, not 15.
It's called play on, but
no one heard it.
No one heard it.
Dempster. When they test for umpires over the summer, they might need to test both voice and decision making. There's been a few calls today that players haven't been able to hear. Milne.
Hard running from Goddard on Farito there.
Throws it up long to Kaczynski. Got there. That That's a big mark.
Well, it's a super kick from Goddard. That's super running. He was spent, Brendan Goddard, but he found a way to run off Ferrito. You see Ferrito running off the bench. He's spent also. That's the beauty of Goddard. Off one step, he's kicked that ball 60 metres to advantage to Cozzy. That is great play.
It certainly was. Made up great ground, Kaczynski to take the mark. But they desperately need this. They kicked 1 goal in the second quarter only.
That's what he has ahead of him.
Good hit.
Never in doubt. And they reduced the margin. The smallest it's been since the opening term. 7 points.
Great start. Great start there from the Saints. And Cozzy just kicking that goal there. But Brendan Goddard just off the one step. It's a great weapon to have when you can kick the ball 60 metres to Brendan Goddard. He's off the ground now. After he kicked that ball, he was spent. But not a lot the defender can do when you kick the ball off one step to the fat side to the advantage of the big power forward for the Saints. Kicking his second goal.
Having his best year ever, Justin Kaczynski. Missed games this year with injuries and suspension, split webbing, concussion again, but this is his 9th season. He's never finished in the top 8 of the best and fairest before, and he should crack the 50-goal barrier for the first time this year. He now has 42 and 2 goals for the day, and we'll get another ball up. 7 points the margin, and he is a key in the next month of this season. Could well be the difference between this club changing its history forever.
Well, one area since half-time they've been a lot better has been the contested area of the game. They were well beaten in the first half in the contested possessions. It's 11-6 for this quarter, St Kilda's way, which is a good indicator.
King, one of the premiership players in this St Kilda lineup, with the big fist, but it came back with interest. Campbell kicked off the ground, bouncing ball inside 50. Harvey pursuing it, goes in, free kick, too high. Saints ball, it'll go to Blake.
Well, he went down low and hard, Jason Blake, and more the free kick. Good play. It was a loose ball. He knew he was going to wear one, and that's even more courage when you know you're going to wear one for that contested ball in that situation.
Just kept the head down, really. He didn't duck, he just kept it down.
Farron Ray.
Even that's a win for North, the way that they've had to bang it up high.
No mark paid. Thompson to Gibson. Caught, good tackle by Armitage. Brought into the team early this morning. David Armitage to replace Lenny Hayes.
He's Blake going low and hard.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, his Saints from head to toe is a Bo Morris boy, Jason Blake, and Heartland of St Kilda. Free kick to Lee Montagna being held.
Well, the umpires have been red hot since the start of this third quarter. You can just hear them off the ball, no holding. So they're going to ping any player that even puts half a hold on the jump around the stoppage.
Gwilt long, revolt, front spot, couldn't take the mark. Milne can't trap it. Taken across the line.
He's been good today, McMahon on Milne. Milne's only had the 5 disposals, 1 point.
Yeah, sometimes he can have a 5 disposal game and kick 4 goals.
Well, that's the thing about Milne. That's the danger of him and Snyder. Both of them can kick goals, and they could end up with 10 possessions and kick another 3 each. You know what I mean? They're those sort of players, but at the moment...
Not a great kick, this one from Ed Lower.
Revolt. He can smell another goal here. Bumped off it, tied up, and they get out of it.
I'll tell you what I can smell. The message coming out, the runner coming out to Ed Lower.
Replace all divots too after this kick.
It was off his shin.
He didn't even hit the ground with his foot, he just kicked it off his shin.
Wasn't his best.
Here he is.
Milne, here we go. And bumped as he kicked it. That's all it took. And is that out on the full? Yeah. So Lower with the long bang. And it's coming back from the boot of Stephen Baker. Gilbert. Fisher.
You'll go in the middle of the ground. You've got Dawson and Blake.
Oh, this will be cut off.
Oh, that's actually a good spoil.
Brilliant fist from Smith. He spoiled it down to Petrie. Didn't just spoil it. And now he's got 3 to beat. The two Saints collide. Smith can't mark it. Lays a brilliant tackle on Dempster. Fisher comes up with it. Dawson wide. Farron Gray into a roadblock. Dempster, Fisher.
Good pressure, North.
It was the pressure they were putting on St Kilda in the opening term, and they kicked the first 5 goals of the game. Baker.
Nothing to kick to.
He's got Montagna just off the bench. Ignored him.
No, I don't think he saw him.
Okay. Armitage. He ducked into that himself. Liam Anthony. Grimer. Swallow. Anthony.
Just kicking hope there.
It's not a bad result, though, out of play. They can reset for a ball in.
Rowan Smith, Del Santo off the ground again already, so Greenwood doing a very good job on Nick Del Santo.
Levi Greenwood, he has been sensational today. In this third quarter, I don't think Nick Del Santo's actually had a touch. They started on the wing. He's come off now. He's just getting a rub. But Levi Greenwood, take your hat off to him. He's been fantastic.
St Kilda runner got in the way there, and he's given a free against the runner.
Oh, Tony Walsh it is too. Ross Lyon won't be too happy with that with Tony Walsh.
Richmond, you're on like this.
He used to the board at Richmond. He's at the Bulldogs. There's Tony Walsh there. Gee, he'll
be in strife.
Oh.
Rawlings long.
Might get one of those ear massages you talk about.
No doubt.
Massive pack. Edwards shrugs his way clear. Got a handball out to Swallow. And
high
tackle. Swallow's ball. And here's a very accurate kick.
Well, the decision was made by the umpire in the centre of the ground. You can hear the Saints fans not happy. But he had a different view because the umpire that was officiating was on this side of the ground, the same view as the camera gives you. But the umpire in the middle of the ground who's in the corridor looking at that bit of play has seen a high tackle. As you can see, there's the ear massage he's getting, Spud, we'll talk about.
Tony Walsh straight on the phone.
16 goals, 8 this year, Andrew Swallow. From directly out, set shot, never in doubt. Back out to 13 points.
Well, there's one thing for sure. You won't have to worry about Tony Walsh getting the wax cleaned out of his ears after giving away a free kick, which effectively got North Melbourne that goal. So that's a tough one, but that's the game that's played. And
let's have a look at this free kick. Now, that side looks okay, but the umpire gave the decision from the right of screen, so the corridor. He just you can see there the guy coming in putting his hand over the shoulder. He didn't actually call that free. That free was already called by the other umpire.
There would be a lot of those that happen that don't get paid.
My word. My word it is. But it's a danger time now for St Kilda.
There's Tony Walsh running out. He'll be running very tentatively now.
We talk about big blokes. I saw Stephen King's knocked a couple of nice hit down. He hasn't had a touch yet, Stephen King. He's been on the ground for 2.5 quarters. Not even a handball.
Gibson got the handball out. Montagna tackled quickly. Umpire and Stephen Grun in.
Well, Steve, as I said, Stephen King is the ruckman for St Kilda. He's played nearly 40 minutes of football and has not had a possession. Now, whilst he's done a couple of nice things, you've got to be a bit better than that. He's an experienced player. Goldstein's been okay. Hasn't had a lot of the footy either. But he's got to get a bit dangerous around the ground, Stephen King.
Lower started to get a feel of it as well to Rawlings.
What they're breaking the space well,
looking good. Handball not so good. Put Adams under pressure. Swallow ducked into that tackle. No free to Schneider. Ball up. With Harvey getting some work done. Yeah, tried to put the head down into that. King with the palm down. Adams to Anthony. Standing in the hole was Gilbert.
They were half asleep then. Petrie and Smith. When you've got a loose player such as Gilbert, you've got to walk up and play hip on hip and let the deepest player be free. Gilbert was on his own there. The stoppage, quick kick out, was always going to go to Gilbert.
Jeez, you're having a bag once. Nick Del Santo at the moment.
Rewald made that kick look okay. Schneider back to Montagna.
Good
front through Scarlett. And it doesn't really kick to anybody, but if it bounces out, it's a win. Yep.
That's a David Campese special, that one.
Was it deliberate?
No. It was long down the line, because if it had bounced right, it's play on.
You said it was a good kick because it found the line. And then when I asked if it was deliberately finding the line,
well, I didn't tell the ball to bounce left. It could have bounced right.
No, I think he got the right result. Well, one on Swallow.
And Swallow around the body to full forward.
Yeah, again.
Oh, Blake, a little fumble there. And that shouldn't be 50 because he did juggle the mark.
The North Tools just have to be aware of what's going on around them. Ross Lyon is sensing that North have got a big passage of play here, so he's got an extra player behind the ball. So play in front, the North big men.
Goddard, short, Fisher. And some space in the corridor.
And some space for Rewald ahead.
McWalter, Armitage. Farron Ray runs to 50. He could go the journey, sets sail, and nails it.
Well, that's a great goal. And we'll go to school on Scotty Thompson here. Now, he was under the pump because he had two players running at him. What he had to do was corral. He got a piece of the ball carrier, which allowed Farron Ray to get goal side. And we just see Fisher here. And it's a good hit up to McWalter. Now, there's two runners here. We've got Armitage, there's Scotty Thompson. He had to corral and get on the back foot to force the player to kick over his fingernails. Once he went to the ball carrier, it was an easy handball over the top to Farron Ray for a great goal.
One of only two Saints players to play every game this year, Farron Ray, he and Jason Blake. Saints gave the Dogs pick 31 to get him. Jordan Roughhead was the player the Dogs picked up in the draft. He's yet to play a game. Another clearance for the Saints. Diving attempt, this time by Kosicki, nearly knocks himself out again. Grimer to Rawlings. Saints have the numbers around this contest. Bouncing ball towards Dempster. Clark. Gardner. Ray again.
Just opening up a little bit here for the Saints.
Kosicki attacked it well. Armitage. High kick towards Revolt. There's those hands.
That is a magnificent mark. He used his body beautifully to hold out, and in the last minute on ops, he pushed off, and then he had a 20-metre run to a dangerous spot. Good play there. Good connection between the midfield and Nick Revolt. Kicking the ball to a dangerous spot. Just before that, he pushed off ops beautifully, just to allow the leg rope to open up. And then those long extended arms, just about impossible to defend once he gets a run and jump at it.
Big kick this, to cut it back to 1 point. Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, Lockie Hansen just came to the bench just before Nick Riewoldt took that mark, just complaining of a little bit of cramp. So it just goes to show how much running Nick Riewoldt does. And then he comes off, and Nick Riewoldt takes the mark and had a shot at goal. So he's just getting a little bit of work done on his calves. Should be back on in a minute.
Good learning curve for young Lockie Hansen. And obviously Brad Scott watching there will say we'll need to put a bit more juice in the legs of the young key defender, Hansen.
Swallow having a big influence. Campbell slick. Cruz Garlett long. Yeah. Petrie the target.
I'm going to get it out the back here for Edwards.
Handy fist from Zach Dawson, but Edwards was sweating off on it. Liam Anthony bumped. Blake backtracks. Baker, Dempster. Saints can reload.
The ball actually wasn't meant for Drew Petrie. It was meant for Liam Anthony, and that's what caused the turnover in the end. Anthony was away.
To the open side, Farron Ray finds Gardner. Revolt the target. High kick, dropping back McMahon.
Been outstanding today on Stephen Milne. Playing his 50th game today, Scott McMahon.
Watt. 6 points the margin. Edwards.
We get a lot of the ball around here, North, but unfortunately the back half led by Sam Fisher, who's had 10 disposals already in this quarter. Just cannot get the ball inside their forward 50 at the moment, North.
Rawlings wants to use the corridor, straight down the middle. It's okay. Garlett sees Anthony. Petrie calls for it back. Changed his mind at the last second. Almost a turnover. McIntosh to Swallow. Back to Garlett. Changed his mind again at the last second and got away with it. Smith, wide ball. Gibson hands it off. Big kick this for Campbell. Can stretch the margin and hits the post. Could have made it 2 goals. It's now 7 points.
I tell you what, you got to go. It's a hard way to get a goal, going from one side of the ground to the other.
But that's what St Kilda do. They force you to play high-risk football because they guard space better than any other team in the competition.
Now we can see the Saints trying to huddle as well while North go one-on-one in their kick-in.
Well, all North need to do is just get goal side and hold it up.
Goddard to Blake. Back to Goddard.
But they've done this well today, North. They've held St Kilda up.
Dempster.
Bring the ball out of defence.
22 minutes gone, third term. Montagna. Kosicki.
moved well today, the big fella. Taking six marks.
Well, he's got 6 marks and Rewald's got 10.
Gibson.
Speaking of marks, that was an outstanding mark from Gibson. We've already talked about his contested marking in this game, playing the midfield with Ferrito.
Sun has been a factor for the players and the fans today.
This could bounce anywhere, this ball.
All the way back to Watt. He gathers, sidesteps, wants a target, heads wide to Liam Anthony. Good pass. He spills it. Obbs calls for it. Handball in his direction. Little flick was clever. Gibson dives in. Head down, no free. He's over it. He's in trouble. Got it out just in time. Boundary line lurking. Obbs dives in. Goddard was slick. McWalter along the line. Schneider, a little tap on. Played for the free. Umpire too clever.
Yeah, I think.
Little clap of the umpire there from Schneider.
Let's have a look. It was a grapple.
I had the arms around him, not all that happy with the umpire, Schneider.
Well, he had a case, but
it was there. It was
I'm
there,
not sure it's the way to be pleading for the next free.
I think in the end, the free kick was there late. Because the hands went up straight away, it probably wasn't there, but it was at the end.
Oh, Schneider, a little clap. This time it's a clap favourably.
Well, I've got a feeling the umpire may have said something to him and he's giving him the clap for a start. Yeah, I think they're having a bit of a blue, the two of them, be fair to say.
Well, you never praise the umpire for the umpire's sake.
That's
you only ever praise them for your own. Goddard caught.
Gee, that was good.
Ball up.
Good play by the North bloke then. They saw that Goddard was going to get the release. They just didn't allow him to get onto his right foot to kick it.
Opposite was. Great tackle. Corralled him beautifully. That's the perfect corral. Corralled him into the area, and then he nailed him with the hard tackle.
Big 3 minutes coming up here. Swallow throws the handball out wide. That was possession number 24.
Saints are starting to get a little bit angrier, which is good to see. Armitage, Gwilt's a little bit sore there after that contest.
Well, it's been a contest all day, as we see Gwilt there. We only saw the end of that, but look at the tackle by Obst. But St Kilda, they haven't got their machine working yet, so that's the concern for North. They need to get some scoreboard pressure on here, because the Saints, you just got this feeling they get enough of it in the last quarter, they'll be able to really put the foot to the metal.
Dempster.
Well, Grant's just on the ground. If they can work the ball over this side, I'll get it to Jason Grant.
Dawson sees him now and gives. Oh, just on, little fumble, turnover. Harvey, he sees Petrie free now, but he hit him with the pass. He gets there, backtracked.
Took a while to slow down, the big fella.
I think he kept backtracking just in case he wanted to play on. Heads inboard, terrible kick. Farron Ray swallows it.
He goes long to the square. You've got Josh Thompson and Sam Fisher there on his own.
Armitage.
Smith, sorry.
Clark. 2 minutes to three-quarter time. Sends a drop punt in the Revolt direction. Bouncing ball. Taps to his own advantage. Scott Thompson. Revolt. Thompson. Del Santo. Caught. Slung. Hands up.
Good
tackle. Brilliant tackle. Liam Anthony. Dispossessed. Ball comes out to Armitage. Again, the game lifts a gear. Gilbert sidesteps a couple. Gives to King. Finally a possession. Handball backwards. Farron Ray wide. Graham the target. He's got it. Chips it inside 50. Half smothered. Revolt's got 3 to beat. Aaron Edwards gets there. He's got Petrie. Needs to be good. He's bad. Big thump. Blake. Ball out.
The work rate of Nick Revolt in the last 5 minutes has to be seen to be believed. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes off the ground, Nick Revolt. His last 5 minutes, Rowan Smith, has been absolutely outstanding.
And Spade, you called it, he's coming straight off, but his work ethic is just amazing. He's gone probably through 3 or 4 opponents today, and he's just running ragged.
Thompson, handball to his own advantage, or the line. Heard he got the line.
This is red hot, the pressure, Smithy, down there on the boundary. It's right in front of you at the moment.
Yeah, it's really lifted here, boys, I tell you what, and the crowd's starting to get behind the Saints now. Just getting a little bit frustrated at the moment.
Saints have not led today. King knocks it down. Garlett missed the target. Liam Anthony, clever, takes on the tacklers, knowing that he can't give it up.
Just watch this stoppage here. Nick Del Santo. Now, he's only had the 7 disposals. The Saints players are trying to help him.
Oh, yeah. Farron Ray.
Greenwood's played very well on Del Santo, just at the bottom of screen here.
Big clearance this.
Poor defensive.
Graham to Goddard. High kick. Kaczynski in perfect seat 1A.
Well, that is. We've seen two of the best kicks from Brendan Goddard this quarter to open the game up a little bit the Saints' favour to the number 23 for the Saints. That is great connection. Because he knew the kick was going there. That's great team play.
Brilliant kick, but look at this poor defensive set up by some North Melbourne players. Gee whiz.
Look at the look from Goddard.
Well, you just don't. It's a great kick, you're right, but you just don't allow players to get a free run at it like Goddard.
He's kicked 2 to reduce the margin to just the one behind, then he misses.
Well, it's a let off for North. They desperately need a goal, North. Well, it's only 22 seconds. They desperately need to go into three-quarter time in front at least.
Well, St Kilda keeping with their zone, North Melbourne keeping with their one-on-one and trying to huddle and get it out there. They just need to get as far as they can away from this contest.
That's not a bad kick. It's high, so it eats up 4 seconds. Offhand, Swallow couldn't trap it. Farito throws it up. Swallow again takes the tackle, knowing he can't give it up. Down to 9 seconds. Armitage tries to shuffle it out. Still in the congestion.
That's where you need to take the tackle and just take it in. Just get a bounce down. That's what they've done.
Three-quarter time here at Etihad Stadium. North Melbourne, who kicked the first 5 goals of the game, have led at every change, and it's still on out there. They led by 14 at quarter time, 16 at half time. They lead by 6 with a quarter to go. 8-3-51, 6-9, 45.
Clinton Jones, as you said, he's been very good on Brent Harvey also. So there's been some really good matchups all around the ground. You look at the Saints midfield now, you've got Montagna, Goddard. 2 terrific ball users there for the Saints and Nick Del Santo. Rossi Lyon and St Kilda supporters desperately want him to finish off with a good last quarter.
We see Josh Gibson there going to Jason Graham. Needs to be a defensive side of him. He gets behind the pack, faces the goal and hits it running.
North Melbourne fans haven't had a lot to cheer this year. Big last quarter coming up for them. McIntosh with the palm down. Gardner tries to hack it off the deck. McWalter over it. Umpire pleaded for him to knock it out, but
look at the space that Revolt and Big Cozzy have got at the moment. If they get a quick kick out of the clearance here, the Saints. There's the space they've got between Revolt and the contest.
Wilt couldn't break free with it. We'll get another ball up. Saints lose this. It'll be 2 losses in a row, and they'd go into the finals with a bit of a question mark. They do have Melbourne next week, but that would be form that you couldn't really read much into. McWalter gets the kick away. Obbs, who's been good today, hands off to Swallow, who's been fantastic. Kick with the outside of the boot. Fisher, Petrie, Fisher, manhandled by Gilbert. Diving in Farito. Fantastic contest from all players, as it's been from the outset.
I think the form line, if it stays like it is today, it's probably a good thing for the Saints. I mean, they've been pushing aside some teams on the way through. They've come up against Essendon and realised they weren't at their best. They can get beaten. Come up against a team who are 13th, and they've been struggling as well. It's just maybe the few players there that were just skating along on the back of their stars that have maybe been exposed a little bit this afternoon.
Gee, though, going into the finals with 2 losses in a row and you presume a win next week against the Demons, wouldn't be fantastic form.
No, they're getting a taste of what it's going to be like in September against the likes of Collingwood, Geelong. They've got to beat them all to win it.
Swallow, quick kick. Campbell pursues it. And he can't beat the boundary line, which is too quick for him here.
And pushing aside teams in round 7, 8, 9, and then pushing aside in the finals is a completely different ball game.
They've won 18 of their past 19 here at Etihad Stadium, the Saints. Little high on Del Santo. Umpire didn't think so. Well, crowd thought so.
Brendan Goddard looked around at the umpire who was behind to say, well, where's the free kick there? I mean, that's a free kick.
Right. In the umpire's defence, he was blindsided.
Someone's gone down.
Goddard went down off the ball. Close to the line.
Well, Goddard looks at the umpire now. That is definitely a free kick.
Now, the umpire behind had an unimpeded view. You'd think he's the corridor umpire.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, that's a free kick.
Stopped his run. Swallow. That's a free kick every day of the week.
You can stop run, but you have to be looking at the ball. Goddard gets ball, kicks long, Revolt the target, and Revolt the free. Too far out to score.
Okay.
Kaczynski peeling back to the square.
Goddard's pushed hard forward too.
Throws it up high. Kaczynski under it. Scott Thompson.
Well done,
Gibson. Big fist. Milne almost to throw. Down. Gwilt got it from Schneider. Turns it over. Obbs tries to give it back again. Grimer doesn't want to drag it through for a behind. Outside of the foot. Dangerous. Liam Anthony takes on Revolt. Takes on Raf Clark and wins. Garlett, he runs away. Revolt's down. Revolt's hurt. Wide ball. Petrie, boundary line, will get a ball in.
Saw Nick Revolt.
Oh boy, this is bad news. Revolt in the hands of the trainer.
Not sure whether it's a knee or an ankle. He seems to be clutching his right knee. We'll just have a look at the replay. I think it was his right knee.
I think so.
Let's have a look at it.
As he plants it here, twists sideways.
Well, they need to get him off and assess it.
Montagna to level the scores. Across the face. And it's out of play on the full.
Regardless of the situation, he's still limping around, Revolt. He might be able to shake it off, but why take the risk?
Yeah.
He's clearly the best forward on the ground.
Well, that's good news, though.
He's jogging.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the game doesn't... They're on top. They're going to finish on top. If you're going to assess him off the ground and just find out that there's definitely nothing wrong with him.
Thompson kicks long.
We've got Tim Barber there. He's a super doctor, Tim Barber. I'm sure they'll be doing just that.
Gilbert to Gwilt to Gardner.
He's going to mark it.
Revolt! Can't mark it. Rawlings playing for a winning game 200.
Just to give off.
Thompson, he did give off to Grimer with some poise there. Swallow gets away from Goddard with ease. Liam Anthony, bouncing ball, runs with some space. Short.
Ferrito in the middle of the ground, if you can see him.
He's getting shepherded by the umpire, Ferrito.
Smith back to Greenwood. Petrie can't mark it. He's turned it over. It's Fisher. It's a 6-point margin. The Saints have not seen the lead today. Goddard sends it long. Milne still goalless. Schneider off hands. He dives in, lays the tackle, ties it up.
Tripping play there from Lockie Hansen. He was the one that put the spoil in the air. There's Revolt still in the hands of the physio and the doctor. Push them away. He's in the goal square now, so that's great news for to see the St Kilda runner Tony Walsh is going at the Revolt. So you're asking the question also to the coach.
Garlett with a thump down to Grimer. Rolls it to the wing. And Smith can take it out. They can't win the flag without Revolt, so it's good news that he's okay. They may need to rest him next week. He's a little proppy, but he's staying on. Ray shoots it back to Fisher. All the way back to Blake. They've been under siege from the opening bounce, the Saints. Grant to Fisher. Dumps it long. Revolt's on the move. Schneider's there. Front spot. Takes the mark.
Needs to just settle here, Adam Schneider. He can nearly get the trip.
Brady Rawlings normally, played just about 180 of his games in the midfield. We just see him here in a marking situation against Schneider.
Only has a behind to his name today. Coming off a 3-goal straight game last week. And staring at his best goal-kicking season of his career, Adam Schneider. And this kick to level the scores. They're a goal from the lead.
Get down to Smithy on the boundary line. North look really tired to me when they're trying to bring it out. Even that ball they got on the other side of the ground, Smithy, they were loose players, but they just didn't seem to have any petrol.
Something that was a highlight in the first half, Pickers, you picked up on, was their run out of defence, but they're just really struggling to get it out. They're trying to get Matty Campbell behind the ball. He's just come off to have a little bit of a rest. Gibson is just trying to get behind the ball as well, just for a little bit of run.
Torpedo, King drops the mark, mops up his mess. Gwilt, Fisher, Short, McWalter. They can take the lead for the first time today.
Well, the kick-in went to a 3-on-1 St Kilda's favour. Didn't play the odds at all. Just went long to King, Gilbert,
Well,
Bad option.
I'll tell you what happens, Bud. He's looking for someone to kick it to. They're all standing like statues at centre half back. They look stuffed. So he ended up kicking a big mongrel torpedo to 3 players. You're right.
Andrew McWalter kicks a little wobbly, but he sneaks it in. And they lead for the first time.
Great effort. You're right, Pickers. You looked at the other players. There was 15 North Melbourne players like statues, basically, and in the end just kicked it long to a 3-on-1, which wasn't a great option. But really, it was the only option he had in the end. Not sure where the ruckman was. Goldstein had to be the long target. Unfortunately, went to King versus Gibson, which is not a good matchup. So the North Melbourne youngster in the ruck had to learn from that and get to the boundary line for that long kick, and at least then force the boundary throw in.
Well, the kick-ins from full-back haven't been good all day, really. Every time they've gone long, they've tried to do the huddle at centre-half forward and break the Saints zone, but they have never really outnumbered St Kilda with those longer kicks. The short kicks are much better option for North.
King and Goldstein. Ball knocked down and Armitage grabbed immediately.
Tell you who I've been impressed with, Gartlett this afternoon. A lot of poise. They need some zip around the footy. Brent Harvey needs to get into the game. He's been well held today by Jones.
King with a flick back.
It's a great tap again, you know.
Armitage revolts on the march. Bouncing ball. Hanson was with him. McMahon. Calm under pressure. Anthony takes the mark at half back. There's a ton of time left in this one.
Up the chimney, that one.
Tough one to mark.
Good one, easy one to defend, though.
Montagna kick smothered. There's your man Garland again. And a big smother that might be. Saints have the numbers though at half-back. Blake to King. Getting more of it in this final term. Clark, Montagna, Revolt. Can't get a run at this, and Kazitsky does. Can't mark it though. Milnoff hands. Back to Cozzy. Dumps it towards goal.
Good goal.
And hits it well. They lead by 7.
Well, weight of numbers in the end. They're continually pumping the ball in there, the Saints. Not a lot the North Melbourne defence could do there. We have a look at this situation here. Cozzy just about takes the mark. Good front and square from Milne. Good pressure, gets the ball free. Cozzy's direct opponent just spectated the ball for half a second. That's all it takes to spectate the ball. You're still in the game. Young Grimer, he's been very brave today, but on that situation there, just had a look at the ball for half a second, which allowed Cozzy out the back for a very good goal.
Well, in the wash-up of the game, you just got this feeling, even though there's plenty of time left, 14 minutes left nearly, that Kazitsky and Rewald will be the difference. If you look at the 2 key posters for St Kilda, they just still look dangerous even late. King's starting to get on top with his tap work in the centre bounce.
Goldstein to Garlett, to Anthony, Harvey, Watt. They haven't given it up just yet. McIntosh is the man. Jumps into the contest, can't mark it. Adams a little fumble, shoots the handball to Ferrito. He kicks around the body, bouncing ball in the pocket. Well, Graham content to see it out.
That's the first time they've gone inside their forward 50 this quarter. St Kilda 8 inside 50s to 1, North Melbourne's favourite. And Sam Fisher, not sure why he never won a free kick there, but big contest. He's had 26 disposals, Sam Fisher.
Took them 11 minutes to get it inside 50 as Goldstein flicks it back. Jones, Ray, Graham. Sidestep with ease, and now a long kick to the wing. Kazitsky's down there.
Yes,
big fly and a good mark to Obst.
Well, you can see, you talked before the game about players.
He's got Edwards in the middle of the ground if you can find him.
He's got to get there, though, with a tired leg.
Good fly and a good mark, that, Aaron Edwards. Knew the traffic was coming.
Good running from Anthony.
Works hard, Anthony.
And now the kick to the square.
Terrible option, really.
Farron Ray takes an easy, uncontested mark.
And that's just game sense. You've got McIntosh and Drew Petrie there in the forward pocket. Now, they're your strong targets. Just give it to their advantage. Instead, he goes into the middle of the corridor where the 2 players are already gravitated towards the ball carrier.
He's a kicker, Liam Anthony, but he's had 15 kicks of his 27 possessions, but he's going at 40%. So that's an area that he's only in his first year of footy, and he's been a really good player, but His ball use is not good enough at the moment.
The Saints set-ups around the stoppages since half-time.
Oh, look
a
out.
lot better. Just off the bench.
That was a good interchange.
So Del Santo got it off the bench but gave it up. Greenwood to half forward. He's playing for his life, Ralph Clark.
You know you're having a bad day, Nick Del Santo thinks so, eh? I've got rid of Greenwood, first time of the day, and someone comes off the bench and tackles me.
Fisher to Dawson and back again. Gilbert. 7-point margin in favour of the Saints. Goddard.
Well, it's been the grand Fisher-Goddard show since half-time.
Baker. And now Revolt flies. Kazitsky almost crumbs it. Grimer, who's held steady all afternoon. Thompson.
They've got the corridor here. Now they give the ball to Gibson. They've got loose players at half forward. He's gone the wrong way.
Greenwood. Pokes it to Smith. Good hands. And he dumps it long.
Dawson's not watching the ball.
Petrie runs in, kicks the goal.
What was Dawson doing? I can't believe that. He just had no thought of where the ball was. Now, it's okay to watch your direct opponent when you're on the angle, and you talk about the hips because one eye on the ball, one on your direct opponent, but we have a look at the replay here. Dawson is not even watching the ball at all, and then thinks at the last minute, oh, there it is. So he had to play off another 3 metres and have a look at the ball, and then drew Petrie.
And then didn't hold him up. I mean, if that had got there about half a second earlier, it could have damn landed on his head. It was quite unbelievable by Zach Dawson.
Well, the positioning, it started, the preparatory work before the kick, that's where he made the blue. He had to stand back. He's got good speed. So play hip on hip, centre corridor, push him wide. But when he got in front, in direct line from the ball, he had nowhere to go.
Well, I'm just not sure why, as you say, you put one arm across and you're okay to look at him, but you certainly don't want to be standing there with your back directly to the ball where it's coming from.
He's had a good season, but September looms. And you need to be solid in defence in September.
King has been good in that area. They're nearly trying to put McIntosh there and throw Goldstein forward, I reckon.
Farron Ray loops it wide. Kazitsky, well played by Grimer, got an arm on him. Ball out of play. Let's have one more look at Zach Dawson losing the leather.
Now, let's have a little look at this. The ball's coming in. Now, you can see him there. He doesn't know anywhere the ball is. So by the time he looks for the ball, Petrie's already stolen the metre on him.
Playing the back line's all about angles, and you need to force your opponent where you think, oh, if he's going to mark the ball, he's going to have a real difficult shot. And once you get in direct line with the ball and your direct opponent,
You're gone.
You're gone, because if you're looking at the ball, you don't know where your opponent is. If you're looking at your opponent, you don't know where the ball is.
Saints by a point. Goddard down to Armitage. The late replacement for Lenny Hayes. Wobbler inside 50. Kazitsky got hands to it. Revolt, Kazitsky, they're both there. McMahon solid. Watt, Hansen, dangerous
Snyder.
kick this. Armitage pursues it.
Well done.
Great commitment from Lower. He just got Lower.
He scored too. He wore one. That's fantastic, Ed Lower.
Harvey, short. Gilbert cuts it off. Adams went hard. Ball to lose Dempster. Petrie. Dempster wraps him up. Ball up.
Adams and Lower, two players there, just put their heads over the ball. There's Lower there wearing one from Armitage.
He went lower. Now, Goldstein needs to be competitive here.
And a clever tap. Garland tries to give it to Lower. He's dumped. Ball up.
Well, Stephen King hasn't had a lot of the ball. We mentioned that earlier. He's had 3 touches for the day, but some of his work at the clearances in the last quarter where it's 9-3 St Kilda's way, he's just too big in the body for Goldstein. He needs to try a different angle here.
King. Little tap down. Liam Anthony had it, but just overran it. Saints have led by 7 points in this final term. They trailed after conceding the first 5 goals of the game to North Melbourne in the opening term.
Graham just on the ground, just out the back of the pack. Look for the release to Graham.
Lower down to Garland. Shoots the kick poorly, though. Straight to Gilbert. Plays on quickly. Dances around Harvey. Fisher.
Now, they've got to do something with Sam Gilbert. He's become the loose player in defence. It was 2-on-1 with Edwards then. Got the easy kick.
It's in a 3-on-1 revolt. Ball thumped clear of him. And the boundary line will win.
Scott McMahon's spoil there. Anyone wants to know how to play on Stephen Mill, go and get a tape of Scott McMahon in this game. His positioning on Milne has been outstanding today.
Goldstein almost takes it out of the ruck. Montagna to Graham. Sidesteps Watt. Shorts it inside 50. Thompson. And takes them on.
Ooh, cop one for his trouble.
Harvey.
Good
Anthony.
running.
Grimer.
Drew Petrie's pushing hard, so Smith.
Smith can get there.
Oh,
he's
great
it in.
mark. What a grab.
Slips. Second slip catch.
That came with a jumper, that mark.
Now, he needs to settle. He needs a bit of leadership around him to say, you know what? There's a few short passes, but you're on the back foot. Let's go back and have a shot here and back yourself. You're a key forward. St Kilda are pushing numbers back, so...
Look at the grab.
A North Melbourne big bloke's got to get on the goal line here. Goldstein's getting there now.
He can give them back the lead. From the 50, starts it wide, sneaks it in, scores a level.
Super play. It's been a tough game. I'm with you, Pickers. I think this is... I know it's the top team versus 13, but there hasn't been one easy ball out there today.
Jesus, they're outnumbered here, though, St Kilda.
Is there a team in the competition that goes harder when just good old pride is on the line than North Melbourne? Swallow taken out, half a trip, no free, ball in.
Well,
very lucky there.
He threw the leg out there.
Yeah. Watt throws it on the boot. Petrie, big fly from 4 deep. Can't mark it. Adams just overran it. Blake crumbs it. Fisher, Montagna. Armitage.
The old Saints, the finals have hit him about 3 weeks earlier than they thought they were going to, with Essendon last week and North Melbourne today.
We can thank Sam Fisher too. I think his last 3 quarters, he's been unbelievable back there. He's had 30 disposals.
Revolt comes hard, crashes the pad, takes it out.
Just such a reflex, that. Lee Montagna, who's had a pretty good game again. He's had 25 possessions.
We're about to tick into time on, final term. Big clearance this from the wing. Harvey tries to win it. He gets a free for in the back. Play on advantage. Goldstein over the top. Smith, centering kick. Petrie with 2 to beat. Oh, he almost beats them both. Dempster takes it away. Goddard. Gilbert. Dangerous. Oh, gets through Anthony. Couple of bounces. Milne calls it back. Kaczynski. Milne off hands. Revolt there. Hansen. Good positioning. Poor handball. Milne dragged down. McMahon. He's worn him like a glove.
I'm not sure. I was giving the Brownlow. I know I'd give it to. And we just see here. Just 1, 2. Just failed to get that third hand on it.
Well, they
got his arm locked too by Blake.
They've got to get a crumb in North Melbourne inside their forward 50. They've got too many big blokes in there at the moment. We need pace around the ground. The Roos need pace up there, but they need a crummer or 2.
Swallow. The Campbell got one for too high. First versus 13th on the AFL ladder and scores a level. We're into time on final term.
There's your crummer, Pickers. He's on the ball at the moment. And look, they're trying to do 2 things with Campbell. Maybe the pace around the midfield, just to inject some pace.
I'd get Lee Adams on, who's off the ground at the moment. He's got real zip. Oh, Harvey hasn't done a lot today. That's a free. Good decision.
Cramping up Clinton Jones there.
Very un-Brent Harvey-like there.
It just goes to show how hard Brent Harvey runs. Clinton Jones is cramping.
Oh,
after that kick.
He gives you everything he's got every week, Brent Harvey.
McWalter just on the ground.
To Dawson, to Dempster, to McWalter on the open side.
Rewald's work rate's outstanding to get to some space.
McIntosh doesn't come at him.
I think it's good play in the end, Dwayne.
Look at this.
Held him up. That's almost a mark.
Oh, well done, Del Santo.
Del Santo got a kick away, but it's straight up in the air. Play on. Greenwood through traffic. Goes to Ferrito. Hacks it wide. There'll be a race on here. Dempster can't get there first. Ball in on the wing. Scores a level.
Gee, hasn't Greenwood been outstanding?
He's been outstanding. Just Drew Petrio, he was waiting for the ball to come in, but he's got to understand that his midfielder under the pump, so he's got to get a little bit closer to that quick kick out.
Well, I see Adams back on the ground for Edwards, so they're going to throw him forward. Look at
Gilbert
the tackle.
took on Swallow and lost. Is that advantage?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Gee, a long kick inside 50 to a 2-on-2.
so they have gone smaller in their forward line with Adams now and Edwards off. But problem is now with the ball being brought back, so Kilda push all their numbers back. So their only long target will be a big bloke, you'd think.
And North have got 2 free players behind the ball. In this instance, they need to push forward and play one-on-one.
It would be the biggest win of Darren Crocker's short coaching career. They've only won 1 under him. They've only won 1 of their past 11. Grimer.
That's better.
To Harvey. He gets there and little fumble.
Good transference of play.
Just need mobile forwards here. They need multiple leads by players.
They'll have to. You've got 14 St Kilda players inside their forward 50.
He's going to be hard to beat. Drew
Front spot. He had a big piece of it. Not paid.
Gee.
He's hit the beat about 6 blokes
It
then.
was great, strong hands. Let's have another look. We'll get a great angle from this.
He's being held a bit.
Almost pay that.
Oh, you pay that most times, yep. Not out of trouble yet, the Saints.
Jones, handball smothered. Bounces back
Good
to
pressure.
lower with the tackle. We'll get a ball up. The players don't know how long left, but if they look at the scoreboard, it says 24 minutes gone. 58 apiece. 5 minutes left, and there's the new coach and the president looking on.
The current coach would be very proud of his team also, boys.
Well, the current coach might soon be that man's assistant coach.
And that's fair enough. He's coached very well today, Darren Crocker. See him working the phones there with Anthony Rock.
Well, it's 14-7 inside 50s in favour of the Saints, but they've only got 2 goals from their 14 entries. North have got it in 7 times for a goal. And it's this sort of stuff. It's just pressure.
Well, the tackles again, 82. North Melbourne, 71 St Kilda.
Well, they beat them at their own game today, North Melbourne, with their tackling inside forward 50 has been something the Saints have held their hat on all year.
And the contested possessions, minus 28 last week, St Kilda were.
Liam Anthony hacks it inside 50. Petrie again!
That one
this time he's got it! He can give them the lead.
He's got it right this time. And today, the contested possessions also, they're minus 23 also. So, stats don't lie. Have a look at this grab.
That's a contested mark at its very best.
What a big kick.
It's not unlike the mark Big Gardner took against Geelong.
He's kicked 3. 3 straight. He takes a breath.
A good view here.
Everyone takes a breath. They lead by a goal.
Oh, this is a great performance. You see Darren Crocker there and Anthony Rock. It's been a long year for the North Melbourne players and the North Melbourne coaches. They've been brave today.
I tell you what.
No braver than him.
Look at this sort of work in here. There's toughness in close.
Extra numbers.
Liam Anthony just threw it on his boot. And he's got a heart as big as Farlap, this bloke. He just never stops trying, Drew Petrie.
That's a great mark.
That's a beautiful mark.
He just ruled himself on the contest, had no right to take that mark.
Hip on hip, Zach Dawson. Not a lot he could do because he protected the ball drop magnificently.
Gee.
Big Drewy.
It was only a few minutes ago, I reckon 10 minutes ago, we said that the 2 dangerous players were Rewalt and Kazitsky, but Petrie stepped up and kicked 2 in a row and got his 4th.
Over to you now, St Kilda. Armitage had it, dropped it, dragged down, free kick.
Well, Cozzy's now gone into the rack, so Ross Lyon swinging the changes.
Plays on quickly. Goddard's at full forward.
Milne out the back.
Rewalt almost crumbs it. Scott Thompson, wing tackle. Got a drop kick away. Grimer, bottom of the pack, will get a ball up. Saints will finish top of the ladder, regardless of today's result. North Melbourne will miss the 8, regardless of today's result. It's all about pride. They're going as hard as they possibly can. Rewalt dumps it down. McWalter pursues it.
Ready to go there.
Overran it slightly. Goddard wrapped it up. Ball up.
That's a good play from Rewalt. Third man up. Just sense there was a bit of space between the pack and the goals.
Well, they've got to get someone defensive side of this pack here. They don't need the players running at the goals here, North Melbourne.
Swallows the one. He needs to get in the corridor. You can see he's free.
The flip back.
Schneider played for the free.
Oh, it's got to be a free kick.
He's holding the ball.
Oh, that's got to go back to a bit of lip. How can that be a free at a 50?
Remember the clap over the far side? With the umpire. I remember.
Let's have another look at this, because I'm sorry, from our first look, that looked like a free kick to me, but we'll see whether the
coming
umpire's
straight
got
off
a
the
memory.
ground, Schneider too.
You reckon elephants never forget?
Well, we'll have another look at the Schneider, comes off the ground. He's bemused.
Swallow heads wide. Scott Thompson can't get there to mark. Gather, some calmness required.
Here.
All
Heads back.
All her numbers back here.
Well, Rewald's telling all the players she's got 3 free North Melbourne players. You see the Saints skipper saying to boys, come and man these North Melbourne players up.
Well, they're trying to get back for the longer
There's
kick
Rewald.
zone.
Rewald is declaring his players to get back, because all North will do now, they're in front. They'll just play uncontested football.
28 minutes gone, by the way.
St Kilda are playing like they've got the lead, so they've got loose players in between the kicker and the goals, but they're actually behind. Now, I'm sorry, that's a free kick.
Yeah, it is.
Any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Well, it's certainly not a free
Good
kick
grab,
against.
Stephen King.
Yeah, good pluck.
Now, back to North. North need the man up.
Walder's free at centre-half forward.
They couldn't steal it last week, the Saints. Can they this week? Big
great
leap and a
courage.
sensational
Swallow.
mark by Swallow.
What a magnificent grab. He's cramping up too, Andrew Swallow.
Even if he's not, it's not bad to make out you are.
Well, the umpires have called time off. Have a look at this grab here.
This bloke started the ball rolling in the first quarter. He had 12 or 13 possessions and about 5 clearances. He's had 11 contested possessions, Andrew Swallow.
It's called to play on. He just got up from the cramp. He kicks it long and high. Petrie again. Hands to it. Out of play or inside 2 minutes.
Okay, now from this throw in, North Melbourne need to make sure their setup's right. They've got 2 St Kilda players in the corridor. They can't allow Stephen King to flip this ball to space.
They need to get him tight here, North. Extra numbers around the ball. Keep him tight like that. That's good play.
More seconds eaten up. Ball up.
What North have to watch for here, Pickers, is a third man up from the Saints.
Yeah,
watch your third man up.
And I think the dangerous player is Gilbert, who's at the back of this pack.
King with a little shrug. Lower attack, but Baker attacks it just as well. To King, they need a mark. Kaczynski's lurking. Goddard flies off hands.
Look at that.
But it's grabbed high. No free.
The Saints fans are going to go ballistic.
Have a look at the Saints fans. Every one of the St Kilda fans are out of their seats. Let's have another look.
Good decision.
Line ball, good decision from the umpire.
What about late there?
Now, they need to be settled here, North. They need an extra player behind the ball.
They need all their players back here, North.
Stevie Milne has hardly seen it all day. Can't grab it here. Garlick dragged down. No free. Ball up.
Well, you're right, Pickers. I think now it's time for every North player to get around the stoppage. It's no use being around the wing.
Josh Smith is useless where he is right now, which is inside the ground with his opponent. He needs to get in there and block up some space.
Goddard out of the air. Did he get a handball away? Otherwise, it's holding the ball. We'll get another ball up.
Yeah, I think he got quick hands away, Dwayne, into the defence, or the umpire's saying I didn't see it.
Well, he took it out of the air as the ruck contest went up.
Well, what North need to do, the ruckman, McIntosh, just to keep it in tight. Just keep the ball in tight.
Okay, everyone's inside 50 except a couple of St Kilda players for the errant kick out. They can't kick it long out, North.
Brent Harvey to Garlick, to Anthony. High kick.
Petrie.
And contest.
Petrie
with the fifth.
What a start.
That's a match-saving spoil.
Still plenty of time here, Sputter. She's not over yet.
It's not over yet. And just so that is good play. He ran 40 metres to get that spoil. We've got less than a minute left on the clock.
Rewalt with the palm attempt. Adams dragged down by Armitage. More seconds eaten up. We're down to 50.
McIntosh has been terrific in these stoppages. Watch, he'll just try and put the ball at his feet and make sure and hope that the North Melbourne on ball is around his feet. But look for St Kilda to go third man up.
Yeah, you've got to watch Goddard in these situations and these sort of players that have got a bit of a leap.
Rewalt's in there too.
Little flick by Dalsando. Petrie again, but he kicks it to where he'd like to be.
Now they're a chance, the Saints.
Ralph Clark.
They can switch the play here, the Saints.
Dempster. Down to 35. Blake.
Need to man the mark.
They do.
6 points to margin.
Rewald on the lead.
Not again.
Revolt on the move. Got it.
He's too far out.
He can level the scores.
Now, he's going to bang it in long. Mills in the goal square. Oh, he's going to kick this, is he?
He's sent it long. Big fly on the line.
Spoil.
It was touched.
15 seconds left on the clock.
They need a turnover from the kick in to win.
All the North players need to get on one side and just kick the ball long down the line.
They just need a mark here and they've won it. They get a mark. This will be the biggest win of the year for North Melbourne.
Oh, well done, Darren Crocker and the coaching staff. They've been brave.
What a fantastic effort. Not across the goals, for God's sake.
Forget about finals. What about pride? North Melbourne win by 5.
Oh, fantastic game. There's Darren Crocker and Rocky. Look at the North Melbourne players. What a great win, Pickers. What a great game of pressure football. It started from the get-go till the end. One of the best games I've seen for the year.
Well, they were led well this afternoon by Drew Petrie in the finish. Ross Lyon looking a bit bemused by his effort of his team, but full credit to this mob. This guy stood up, number 20 there, Drew Petrie, was outstanding when the game was on the line. Andrew Swallow was fantastic all game. The contested possession area, they were beaten by 28 St Kilda last week and were beaten in the game by Essendon. We talked about it pre-game, and Danny, what was the difference today?
Minus 22, and those stats don't tell a lie, and there's no doubt there's a few boys on notice now at the Saints, and look, they're still the premiership favourites. They're looking around the ground. They're in shock at the moment, the Saints players, but let's talk about North Melbourne. I think they've been fantastic.
Let's head down to the man who played his 200th game today, Brady Rawlings with Rowan Smith.
Oh, Brady, what a game.
Oh, it was unbelievable, mate. We spoke about passion during the week, and James Heard wrote an article about us, about we don't staff and nothing, so boys wanted to prove a point today, and Shannon Watts' last game, and boys came out and did it right to the last sign, so it was great.
It was a massive week for the boys too. Appointment of a new coach.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a big week, but we are the Crocs to play these last 2 games out and really work into next year. So Shannon Watt, he's a great servant of the club. To be able to send him off with a win today is fantastic.
What were the areas that you wanted to focus on today? You knew St Kilda would come back after the disappointing loss to Essendon last week. What did you think that you had to focus on today? Yeah,
obviously contested balls, big one against the Saints. They're one of the best at it, and pressure. They're probably the best pressuring team, and we're normally pretty good at it too. So I thought we did that pretty well today. And a couple of blokes in the last couple of minutes there did some sensational efforts. Nathan Grimer and Drew Petrie, it's real shin bone stuff. I
was just going to ask you about Drew just before you said his mark down the forward line was unbelievable, and then his spoil over there, it was just terrific.
He's sensational, Drew. Sort of bloke you want to go to war with. And the more blokes we get playing like Drew Petrie, the better side we're going to be.
What about yourself today? 200 games, playing off half-back flank. You've got a new lease of life.
Yeah, it's been good. Still got to play on those nippy sort of type forwards, and got your work cut out for you. So Schneider for all the day today, but yeah, ran our legs a bit there in the last quarter. So we were down to 6 defenders. We couldn't really rotate. So it was just good to get a win, mate.
Brady, thanks very much for your time, mate. Congratulations, 200 sensational games, mate. Well done.
Thanks very much, mate.
2 losses in a row now for St Kilda. They have Melbourne next week in round 22 and then the finals. But this is about North Melbourne and Darren Crocker today. An amazing 5-point victory after they started with a 5-0 opening. It was always theirs. They almost had it stolen from them, but that man has the best win of his coaching career. Liam Pickering and Danny Frawley back to wrap up straight after this.